Alrighty, friends. Good morning. Good morning. Happy what's today? Saturday, June 27th. We are picking up on some coverage here tonight. We do have a little bit of a nocturnal threat here. So I kind of wanted to be live here for you guys for a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and finish setting up everything. Make sure we're good and live, but I hope everyone's good. Hope you guys are hanging in there and doing all right. So yeah, we do have ourselves a bit of severe weather going on right now. Excuse me. We do have quite a few storms going on at the moment. We have a couple of severe warnings, and we do have some pretty significant wind damage and damaging winds going on here across like the panhandle of Oklahoma and Texas. So a little bit ago, out in Goodwell, Oklahoma, this is on the panhandle of Oklahoma, we had reports of 78 mile per hour wind gusts. And this was here in, let's see here, Texas County, Oklahoma, which is interesting, which is 2 miles northeast of Goodwell. But yeah, that is literally a 78 mile per hour wind gust has been reported. So these are definitely quite significant here. What's up, Squashy? Good to see you, friend. Hope you're doing well. What's up, Teresa? What's up, Indiana? Good to see you guys. Good morning. Hope y'all are doing well. But yeah, these are pretty nasty storms here. So the one warning we have here is one for 70 mile per hour wind gusts for bits of the Oklahoma Panhandle out by Optima, out there by Hooker, Tyrone. Let's see here, Beaver, Forgan, Knowles, and Gate. Now this also includes the extreme northeastern corner of the Texas Panhandle, which includes Spearman, Waka, Farnsworth, Lord. Let's see here, Perrington, Twitchell, Huntoon, Booker. How the heck do you say that? Darozette, maybe? I don't know. Follette, I think it is. Lipscomb. Let's see, Higgins, Coburn, Glazier, maybe? And Canadian. These are some interesting town names. But yeah, you guys are under that severe warning for 70 mile per hour wind gusts here. Now head over here towards Lubbock. We have more reports. I mean, look at this. We have tons and tons of reports coming through. I mean, from these Mezonets, we have 60 mile per hour winds reported. See 60 mile per hour wind, 61, 60 mile per hour wind reported, 60, 70 reported out by Plainview from the Mezonet here. 63 as well. So this is actually in that warning. We have another severe warning here for kind of just south of the panhandle of Texas, which includes Petersburg, Texas, Finney, Texas, Sterling, Texas, South Plains, Texas, Lockney, Texas. Let's see here, Muncie, Texas, Plainview, Texas. Yeah, and we did have that reported 70 mile per hour wind gusts out there. How's the weather looking in Texas? Pretty severe, especially out west. Absolutely. What's up, Haley? Good to see you, friend. Can you tell me when storms are going to hit Hera, Oklahoma? Of course. I could do that. Yeah, here's current sat view. You can definitely see that there is some deep convection going on this morning. A lot of that really started popping off here pretty much right around like 6:30, about 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock Eastern time. 5, 6 o'clock Central is whenever all that started blowing up here, and it's still going on pretty good. Hera, Oklahoma. Let's pull up our current radar over here. Okay, so it looks like you're good right now, but yeah, there is definitely that storm to your west that is tracking in that general area. It looks like we might have a little bit of a new pop-up storm starting to kind of develop out there, kind of by Mustang, north of Newcastle. Let's take this in the future radar here. Let's kind of see what the future radar wants everything to look like. So, which take this with a grain of salt. I mean, this is one model, this is one run. According to the sub-hourly HRRR, it honestly doesn't hit you. But I don't know if I buy that, to be honest with you. I mean, because, yeah, I mean, it's tracking in that general direction of you. So you're right here. This sells to your west. Now, I will tell you this. Those are warned, those storms here just to your west here, which we have quite a few warnings, like El Reno. Wow. El Reno, Oklahoma has a severe thunderstorm warning for tennis ball hail and 60 mile per hour wind gusts. That is pretty strong, but yeah, you can definitely see that pretty big hail core out there by Calumet. Kind of where this pinkish color is. This is where we are likely seeing that hail. But yeah, El Reno's in that Yukon, Piedmont, in Okorchi, maybe? Yeah, this one's for 2.5-inch hail. Like I said, tennis ball hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Another severe warning for Cashion, maybe? Some of these town names, especially in Oklahoma, are a little tricky, so if I butcher those names, well, don't be surprised. I'm not good at them. Definitely not good at them. But yeah, Cashion, I think it is. This is another warning. This one's for definitely not as significant, but still 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and $half hail on that one, which is still a decent concern. We do have reports of quarter hail east of Greenfield. Just a little bit ago here from that storm. So that's 1 inch in diameter. So that's right at the boundary where it becomes severe. Quarter size hail and larger is considered quote unquote severe. So, anyways, hopping back over here to the panhandle of Oklahoma and Texas. Now, this is a pretty potent little line here. Like we mentioned a little bit ago here, we did have a 78-mile-per-hour wind report out there in Goodwell, Oklahoma. This is up here in Texas. This is the county of Texas, Oklahoma. I know it's kind of confusing. I'm pretty sure that's in. Anyways, it's out in the general area here of the Central Panhandle, up by Goodwell, Oklahoma. It's the state of Oklahoma. But yeah, 78-mile-per-hour winds reported from a Mezonet. So that's official. That's official weather station data coming in. So that is definitely not very good. Teresa says, "Hope you're doing well, Andrew. Appreciate you all do sincerely. How's the weather looking for Dallas, Plato, Texas?" Well, you're very welcome, friend. Dallas right now. I mean, if we look at the radar currently, not really a whole lot going on towards the Dallas area. The majority of everything right now is kind of going for like western Texas and bits here of the central and western side of Oklahoma. That's kind of where the main activity is tonight. Now, if we do bring up the future radar again here, like I said, take this with a grain of salt, but future radar, let's go to normal HRRR. You know what? Yeah, we're going to go back to the 03 Zulu run here. This is the last full run that we have. Yeah, Dallas looks pretty clear according to HRRR, but yeah, the main threat here, is mostly for like the Panhandle, Texas, going up into bits of like Kansas and of course those cells up there in central Oklahoma. That's where the main concern is. What's up, Sewing? Good to see you. Saying flooded again, third time this week. Yeah, flooding's a big problem. Flooding is a huge problem. And actually, if we hop over to the excessive rainfall outlook here, we do have a moderate in our day one, level 4 out of 5. Level 3 out of 4 threat as far as flooding goes. So, yeah, really a pretty big flooding concern here. If you look at the areas in red, which is that moderate region for northeastern Oklahoma, bits of southeast Kansas going through southern Missouri, this is where we have at least a 40% chance of flooding, which is a really good concern for flooding. Because, a lot of these places have already been seeing a lot of rainfall out here. Now, the yellow indicates that at least 15% chance here, which is still, I consider, a decent concern for some flooding, especially if you're in a low-lying area. Be sure to keep an eye on it. And then we have our low flooding threat here in the green, that at least 5% chance area. So, yeah, we got to keep an eye out there for flooding, too. It's not just solely a severe threat for tornadoes, hail, and winds. It's kind of all the above, Haley says, thank you. There was just a few hooks in the storm in El Reno. Yeah, I'm keeping an eye on it here. Let's hop into velocity. Oh, that's correlation coefficient. There we go. Definitely some strong velocities. To be quite fair, though, I'm not seeing much rotation. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm not really seeing really any rotation going on within the storms, but a lot of straight line winds, which is kind of the big concern here. Like I mentioned, El Reno, in that warning here for the main concern being hail, actually. Tennis ball size hail is what that's warned for. And we also have 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts there. So that includes, of course, El Reno. Calumet, I think it is. Okorchi? You guys could look at the screen, too, and you could see what I'm trying to pronounce. We have Piedmont here. Let's see. We also do have Yukon as well in that warning there. So once again, that's tennis ball hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. And you got to remember, this is midnight, and we're seeing tennis ball hail. That's crazy. Crazy. What's up, Scott? Good to see you, friend. Taylor says, good to be back. Used to be your guy from Rosebud, Texas, but just finished moving to Rogers, Texas, not too far, but different counties. Thanks for everything. You're very welcome. Good to see you, Taylor. Hope you're doing good. Haley says significant hail threat increasing proportion of Oklahoma City metro with hail up to tennis ball size. Yeah, that's actually what we have for El Reno. Like I mentioned, El Reno, Oklahoma, we do have tennis ball hail expectancy on that warning. So, yeah, pretty big concern out there. Scott says Cottonwood River almost top of the bridge or water runs south of Cottonwood, Neosho. Yeah, flooding's a big problem. Absolutely. What's up, Ponderosa? Thanks for the star, friend. I appreciate the support. Just saw this from the National Weather Service. Yeah. What's up, Bobs? Say hi, Andrew. Hello, everyone. What's up? Good to see you, friend. But yeah, we got to keep a close eye on that storm here. Honestly, latest scans here look a little better, but it could just be temporary. Actually, I didn't see that last scan. I was looking at this scan. It looks like it was dropping a bit, but there's definitely still a pretty good amount of pink in there, which that's likely some hail, heavy rain mixing into. And that hail core is tracking right towards El Reno. And once again, it is warned for tennis ball hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts here. Back over at velocity, you can see where we have those high-end velocities. A lot of that strong winds right now is kind of pushing towards El Reno. It's getting ready to hit El Reno here pretty soon. A lot of it's between Calumet, I think it's how you pronounce it, in El Reno. That's where a lot of the damaging winds are at right now. We also have another kind of line of stronger winds here just east of that as well, by Piedmont, east of El Reno, out there kind of just slightly northeast of Yukon. So, yeah, those two areas are definitely likely seeing some pretty strong winds there. Can't forget about Texas. Hopping back over to Lubbock. Radar here. We're still getting active reports here. Got a beautiful looking outflow boundary or gust front on that storm. You can see that long noodle. That's your that outflow boundary there. But we got multiple reports of damaging winds and all, and definitely seeing some pretty strong reports here. Let's see here. Brandy, thank you so much for the $4 Cash App donation, friend. Greatly appreciate it. Say thanks for watching out for us, friend. You are very welcome, Brandy. Thank you for the Cash App donation. Really means a lot to me. Thank you so much. Helps with the bills and all, so I really do appreciate that. But yeah, we do have a lot of reports here. Out there by Plains, Texas, 60-mile-per-hour wind reported. We have areas south of Levelland, 60-mile-per-hour winds reported. Ropesville, 59-mile-per-hour wind reported. We have another 60, 61, 63. This one was 70 out by Plainview, Texas. Yeah, they had 70-mile-an-hour winds out there reported. Now, these are from Mezonet stations, most of these. Which, if you don't know what a Mezonet is, it's basically a scientific grade weather station, which is more hyper accurate to rapidly evolving environments. I actually have a Mezonet, and it's better for research and all. So that the data coming in from these Mezonets is solid, because I think I don't know who exactly takes care of them, but they're up to maintenance, because I know you're supposed to keep it up to maintenance, but these Mezonet stations are, I believe, government owned, and they keep them up to maintenance and all. What's up, Matt? Good to see you, dude. Hope you're doing well. Let's see here. Haley says they said it's heading for Grady, Oklahoma, Cleveland, McLean counties. Threat is increasing. Gotcha. So yeah, we also do have the eastern panhandle of Oklahoma in this severe thunderstorm warning over here. Let's hop over to KDDC. That might be our closest radar. Actually, no, KAMA is probably our best option here in terms of radar. But yeah, we do have some strong or some severe storms rolling through the northeastern portion of Texas's panhandle, which includes Canadian, Lipscomb, Cosburn, Glazier, I think it is, Higgin. Let's see here, Follett, maybe. Let's see, Booker, Huntoon, Twitchell. Let's see, Perryton, Farnsworth, sorry, and then we have Lord here too. Yeah, so this one is warned for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. I think they downgraded that. That was, I believe, it's 70, not too long ago. Let's see. Yep. So the previous thing that they issued, or the previous warning they had, was for 70. So it looks like they downgraded that to 60 mile per hour wind gusts, which is good, but still, 60 mile an hour winds has its concerns. So, let's see here. Taylor says moved from a fifth wheel to a house. Have a storm shelter now. There you go. Awesome. As much as I love storms, I'm glad I'm getting a break because I'm not done putting my roof in carpet. Oh, that's true. That's true. That's true. Absolutely. But yeah, so this is also working its way through a bit to the eastern Oklahoma Panhandle up there by Beaver, Forgan, Clear Lakes, Knowles, Gate, McCain, Slap Out, and Logan. Once again, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts here. Now, as far as hail, yeah, hail's up to penny size on that tag, so not considered severe. Not considered severe hail, so that's good. So just a wind threat on those. Yep, same for that one too. All right, let's hop back over to Oklahoma. This is definitely where we have like the most significant storms over by El Reno. El Reno is definitely getting ready to get hit pretty good here, because El Reno is in this severe thunderstorm warning here. Not, oh wow, I think they upgraded it. They sure did. They sure did. Okay, so El Reno now has 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts and tennis ball hail. So you got wind-driven tennis ball hail of 70 miles per hour potentially. I think terminal velocity of tennis ball size hail is actually faster than that. I think I looked this up the other day, and I think it was like between 80 and 100 miles an hour or something like that. Some crazy numbers. So that's going to hurt if it hits you. Definitely. So what I definitely recommend, if you're in El Reno, in these areas out by like Piedmont, Yukon, let's see, Okarche, I think it is, Calumet. I'm probably saying some of these town names wrong, but if you're in those areas and if you're in that warning for that tennis ball hail and 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts, heavily recommend definitely being indoors. If you have any animals outdoors, bring them in. Bring them in. Stay away from windows, obviously. Honestly, in this scenario, I would seek shelter, given the severity of that hail and the damaging winds of 70 miles per hour. I mean, that's definitely enough to cause damage. The hail is honestly big enough to cause like holes into the siding of homes and all. It's a big deal. It's a big deal, and unfortunately, it looks like that hail core is tracking right at El Reno, which you can kind of see where that hail core is. It's in that kind of pinkish purple area here. That's where radar is seeing higher end DBZ values, meaning that the returns are a lot stronger, and because of that. That's telling us that the intensity is much higher. So there's likely a mixture of both heavy rain and large hail going on in that. I think CC should probably show it too. Yeah, so if you look on CC, you can kind of see that there's a little bit of a deviation here. There's a little bit of a change in our correlation here. And by doing so, that's basically the radar saying, hey, this does not look like normal rain. As opposed to these areas kind of in this maroon color. These areas all look pretty similar to the radar in terms of rain. It looks very similar. But once you get towards that hail core, you can see there's much more deviation there because the sizes of those particles that the radars reflect or scanning ranges drastically. So obviously large hail looks way different than a tiny raindrop. And that's basically what the radar is seeing there. So yeah, we can use CC to kind of help determine where that hail core is too, on top of just the reflectivity as well there. But yeah, that is tracking that hail core is going right towards El Reno. And like I said, I mean this is a significant storm. This is a dangerous storm. Tennis ball hail and 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts on that. So that's a big problem. Now, Oklahoma City is also now in a severe thunderstorm warning. Now, the one for OKC isn't as significant. However, it is still a severe storm, and should definitely stay away from windows and all. Now, this one for Oklahoma City includes Bethany, The Village, Edmond, Arcadia, Jones, Choctaw, Tacoma Park, Spencer, Forest Park, and Lake Alma. Now, this one is warned for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and quarter-sized hail. So this is kind of more of a baseline severe warning, kind of the low default severe thunderstorm warning. But like I mentioned, I mean, these are still classified as damaging criteria. So those areas definitely get to keep an eye out there for it. But yeah, obviously not as significant as the El Reno one. But both areas should definitely keep a close eye on that. And honestly, like I mentioned, if you're in El Reno, I would recommend seeking shelter. I mean, I know it's not a tornado warning and all, but like I said, Okay, actually got pretty good news. They did downgrade that hail from 2.5 inches in diameter, or tennis ball hail, now down to 1.75, which is golf ball hail. But still, golf ball hail and 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts is still a significant problem. That's good news though. They did drop it a little bit. Yeah, the hail core. I mean, it's been pretty persistent over the last few scans. We'll have to keep an eye. Oh, you know what? That new scan shows increasing intensities kind of southwest of El Reno. You can see there's central El Reno right here. Kind of southwest, we have a little bit of increase there in reflectivity. Okay, we'll keep an eye on that. And we've still got some decent pinkage over here too. This is still likely some pretty good hail falling out of that. Matt says you're killing it. Andrew, congratulations. Thanks, Matt. I appreciate it, dude. Just here for you guys. I'm here to help. Angela says, hey, y'all, from Sarasota, Florida. No rain. I hear ya. Yeah, we missed our rain here today where I'm at in Lakeland. We, a lot of central west Lakeland had some pretty good rain today, but we didn't. Let's see here. Cleo says, will I go over Spring Hill, Kansas and Disney, Oklahoma? So right now there's no active warnings in Kansas. I'll tell you that right now. But as far as like Disney, Oklahoma, I could pull it up for you. Let's see here. Disney, Oklahoma. Oh, why does it bring me to Cedar Valley? Hold on. Disney, Oklahoma. There we go. That works. Yeah, so out here right now, we're not in any warnings. The only thing I will tell you, though, is that we do have some storms over there. Nothing severe. There is some lightning detection, so stay away from windows and all, but we do have a flood watch. That is one thing, especially if you're in a low-lying area. That's something to look out for. And like I mentioned a little bit ago, guys, it's not just the severe concern that we have for tonight. For hail and damaging winds and maybe a couple spin-up tornadoes, but also flooding too. If we go to the day one outlook here, WPC's flooding outlook. I mean, we do have a pretty decent size moderate risk here, which that's a level 3 out of 4 threat for flooding. That's a pretty good concern. That includes a lot of north central, northeastern Oklahoma, including the Tulsa area. This goes into a lot of southern Missouri, including like Joplin. Joplin's in that as well. We also have Springfield, Missouri included, Lebanon, Houston. Yeah, so that is a at least 40% chance of flooding. So the way that works is just imagine a big grid, 25-mile blocks, right? Makes up this whole area. So basically, there's at least a 40% chance of flooding in the red every 25 miles that makes up this area. So yeah. So given that there's a pretty decent concern for flooding out there. So like I mentioned, if you're in these areas, especially in low-lying spots, don't hesitate to seek higher ground if you need to, because there's going to be a pretty good amount of rain. I'll bring up the totals, because these areas have already seen a pretty good amount of rain over the last while. But if we bring up the what's expected now, we'll go ahead and pull up our total QPF. This is for days 1 to 5. Let's go ahead and get rid of the excessive rainfall. So you can see that there's definitely quite a few inches we could see. I mean, some areas maybe 2-3 inches. Remember, like I said, it doesn't really sound like a lot, but you got to remember these areas have already seen a lot of rain. So there's already a lot of flooding already ongoing in a lot of these areas. So the extra rain is going to make it worse, unfortunately. Let's see here. Racket says, what's it like in eastern Kentucky? Nothing going on in eastern Kentucky as far as right now. Tonight's threat's mostly for bits of Texas and Oklahoma here overall. Now, I will tell you this, though. Later on today, if we go to the actual day one outlook here, let's bring this up instead of the... we'll just bring up the normal SPC page here so you guys can kind of see this. So as far as the threat goes, tomorrow... later on here for Saturday, so later today, we do have a marginal risk here for Kentucky. Level 1 threat here as far as it goes. We do have an enhanced risk later for bits of North Dakota, a little bit of extreme northwestern South Dakota and eastern Montana. 2% tornado threats, 30% SIG wind threat, 30% SIG hail threat too. So anyways, figured I'd go ahead and mention that for you guys as well. But yeah, you should be fine. I mean, it's a pretty low-end threat, but, just have a way to receive warnings just in case if some do get issued, because it's certainly possible. But anyways, oh, wow. Holy moly. Y'all, we just got reports. Wow. Okay, El Reno Airport just reported 75-mile-an-hour winds. That is hurricane force winds was just reported in El Reno. That is at the airport in El Reno. They just reported 75-mile-an-hour winds out there from an AWAS station. Oh, they upgraded the warning. Is that 80 now, I'm assuming? Yep, sure is. 8. Okay. Wow, dude. Okay. So yeah, they upped the warning criteria now to 80-mile-per-hour winds and golf ball hail here in El Reno. Definitely need to be in your shelter now. Because yeah, these winds are getting extreme at this rate. I mean, yes, 75-mile-per-hour winds there. That is unbelievable. Yeah, what a beast there, man. I tell you. Yeah, there's definitely some really strong velocity there. You can see where the line thickness got thicker from the considerable to the destructive by it upgrading to that 80-mile-per-hour winds. But there you are, 80-mile-per-hour winds and golf ball hail now. That is a significant concern here. So yeah, the worst of it's kind of pushing through El Reno right now. So if y'all know anybody in El Reno, honestly, I'd recommend giving them a call, letting them know. I'm sure they could probably hear it. But it's good just to, check up on relatives and family members and just let them know that there is a pretty nasty storm going on. And if they could just stay away from windows, honestly recommended to go towards like the central interior portion of your home. Because, yeah, I mean, like I mentioned, 80-mile-an-hour winds is no joke. As well as, like I mentioned, also golf ball hail. I mean, that's ice the size of golf balls. It's hard. It does. And especially if it's moving at like 80 miles an hour potentially. Yeah. Anyways, but yeah, so like I mentioned, just let your family and all know. That also includes Yukon as well, Piedmont, Oklahoma, Okarche, also about the out there by Calumet, maybe. Yeah, it looks like the storm's kind of out of Calumet though. It's kind of pushed its way through, so those areas should be good. But yeah, main concern right now is for like El Reno coming up here on Yukon pretty soon. Piedmont too, definitely is starting to pick up here pretty soon. Now, we also can't forget about this other warning we have for Oklahoma City. Now, the good news is that it's not as significant. I will tell you this, though. The storm behind it, that really significant one of 80-mile-an-hour winds and golf ball hail, that one is tracking in the same direction towards Oklahoma City and all. Now, here's the question. Will it be strong still as it approaches Oklahoma City? I mean, it's still got a little bit of ways away. It probably won't be as strong as this one. I mean, I can't guarantee it, but it's definitely worth watching. But yeah, Oklahoma City does have a warning currently for quarter hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts here. Yeah, you can kind of see that gust front, that big noodle you see here. That's rolling through the region now, so the winds are probably already starting to kick up pretty good out there. But we do have a severe warning for the Village, Bethany, Oklahoma City, Forest Park, Lake Alma, Spencer, Midwest City, Choctaw, Jones, Arcadia, Edmond. So, like I said, honestly, in this case, just stay away from windows and you should be fine. A little different for the El Reno storm. If you're in El Reno, you need to be in your shelter now. Same thing for Yukon and Piedmont. Like I mentioned, it's not a tornado warning, but there is 80-mile-per-hour winds on the storm here. 75 has been observed by a Mezonet. And there's also golf ball hail on that as well. So, like I mentioned, kind of a mixture of big problems from between the hail and the damaging winds. Those they don't go very good together either. So that's a pretty big concern. They did cancel that severe warning a little bit ago for kind of areas just slightly north of Lubbock, Texas, which included the Petersburg, Lockney area. That is no longer valid, no longer there. We did actually have some real strong reports out in Plainview of 70-mile-an-hour winds earlier. We still do have a severe thunderstorm warning for the extreme northeastern part of the Texas Panhandle, which includes Lipscomb, Texas here. Also includes Booker, Perryton, let's see, and Follett, and also Canadian included there too. This one's warned for, I believe, just 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Yeah, so just 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts on that one. Also, this extends up into the eastern panhandle of Oklahoma for like Turpin, for like Beaver, Flores, see Balco, Elmwood, Clear Lake, Logan, Slapout, Gate, and Knowles. So, once again, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts on that one. So, Got a more baseline there. But if you're just tuning in, y'all, we just had a really nasty report come through from El Reno Airport. So we have a pretty destructive storm going on out there by El Reno right now. This thing is warned here currently for 80 mile per hour wind gusts, so potential wind speeds up to 80 miles an hour within that storm, and golf ball hail is expected out of that storm as well. It was actually tennis ball hail earlier. They did drop that hail threat significantly, or that hail size significantly, but still, like I mentioned, 1.75 or inch hail or golf ball hail still is a big problem, and it still is enough to cause some significant damage and all. So, especially adding the factor of 80 mile per hour wind gust potential on it. I mean, having that mixing in with the golf ball hail, yeah, that could be a real big problem, because you have something with a pretty decent sized mass moving at decent velocities, has a lot of impact force. And, kind of given the rugged structure of hailstones, how they're not solid balls, they're not like perfectly spherical, they're kind of more spiky. And I'm sure that can kind of concentrate some of the energy on one of those spikes if it hits something easily enough to shatter windows and all that stuff, which is why I heavily recommend, and I honestly urge you guys to go indoors well away from any windows and in the central interior portion of your home. Honestly, in this kind of severe, setup here, between the 80 mile an hour winds in golf ball hail, I even recommend going to your safe spot here. So, yeah, definitely would recommend that. But yeah, so it's kind of pushing through El Reno right now. I do have some good news, possibly. So at least comparing to earlier, you can see where we had this massive hail core, kind of in the pinks and the purples here. On the latest few scans, you can see that a lot of those pinks and purples are kind of diminishing, which is a good sign and telling us that the hail core is likely falling apart. Also, correlation coefficient kind of confirms this as well. You can see how we had a lot of deviation here. Radar noticing significant differences in particle size between raindrops and hailstones. And of course, now you can see how it's much more even. It's much more maroonish color. So that's telling us that the radar is seeing a lot more similarity in size of all the precipitation. So that's actually really good sign that hail core might be fading out. But who knows? I mean, it could pick it back up. We don't know. But yeah, even the new scan kind of shows a lot of that pink going away. So that's actually a really good sign, at least in terms of hail. Now, velocities still show another sign. I mean, there's still definitely some really strong velocities on this. I mean, those winds are still a significant problem. Like I mentioned here just a little bit ago, we did have reports of 75 mile per hour winds out there in El Reno Airport, which is obviously very significant. And that is hurricane force. Hurricane force winds have been observed at El Reno's airport from that storm. Right now, the strongest winds are probably over by like Yukon and Piedmont as well. Now, honestly, whenever it comes to it, we do have Oklahoma City also in a severe warning. Oh, they actually upgraded that warning. Uh-oh. Okay, so Oklahoma City now has a warning so it was 60 mile per hour wind gusts, been upgraded to 70 mile per hour wind gusts in quarter hail. So, yeah, starting to become quite the windbag in Oklahoma City area too. That severe thunderstorm warning includes the Village, Oklahoma City, Forest Park, Lake Alma, Spencer, Midwest City, Nakoma Park, Choctaw, Jones, Arcadia, and Edmond. So you guys are in that other warning. But yeah, now that one is warned for 70 mile per hour winds in quarter hail. Quarter hail is the baseline of which is considered severe hail. For it to be classified as severe hail, it has to be quarter size or greater, and it is at quarter size. So it's kind of the low-end classification of severe hail. But yeah, like I said, 70 mile an hour winds. I mean, it has to be 58 miles an hour or greater for it to be classified as damaging winds, and we're up to 70. So this is definitely way up there, well into the damaging wind criteria. We have another warning between the two big ones out there for Cashion. This one, I believe, just for 60 and $50 hail. So yeah, $50 hail is a bit of a concern. I mean, that's... What did it do here? Did they update the warning or something? I think they did, actually. Okay, did they add a new warning? Okay, 80 mile an hour winds in quarter hail. You know what they did and what they're going to do? They're getting ready to cancel this back warning here. The one that's still warned for golf ball hail and 80 mile an hour winds. They just issued a new one. And so this actually lines up with what I was saying a little bit ago. How that hail core looks like it was starting to dissipate a bit. If we go back in the scans, you can see that a lot of pink there from when that hail core was very active to now where a lot of the pink is gone. So now we're down to quarter hail, which lines up perfectly with the radar there we were talking about here. So that is good news. So the hail threat on it, I mean, it's still quarter size, which is technically considered severe, but way better than that golf ball and tennis ball hail we had a little bit ago. So much better, much better. But yeah, still we have a significant problem with winds, though. Like I mentioned, we looked at the velocities too, and like I was saying that we still have those strong velocities there, and they did keep that 80-mile-per-hour wind gust concern there. But yeah, warning still continues for Yukon, bits of eastern El Reno, and Piedmont. They also did cancel that warning we just talked about out by Cashion. I'm not too sure how you say that one. But yeah, like I mentioned, yeah, Oklahoma City's kind of in a little bit more of a concern now in those areas out there. We did just recently get upgraded warning from 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts to now 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts out there by Oklahoma City. Once again, Del City, Midwest City, Forest Park, Lake Alma, The Village, Spencer, Nakoma Park, Choctaw, Jones, Arcadia, and Edmond. Those towns in central Oklahoma are in that severe thunderstorm warning for 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts and I believe quarter hail. Yep, quarter-size hail. Okay, got to keep a very close eye on those. Now, really quickly, so we don't forget, I mean, obviously, we still have another warning over here for like the far corner of northeastern Panhandle, Texas. So you have the main Panhandle in the far northeastern corner. Includes the following areas like Follett, Magoon. I'm not sure how you say that one. Lipscomb, Higgins, Coburn, Glazer, I think it is, and is that Glacier? No, it's Glazer, and Canadian. I think it is. Like I said, I'm terrible with names. You guys are probably figured that out right now. But yeah, this one's warned for I believe 60 mile-per-hour wind gusts. Now that also extends into like the far eastern Panhandle of Oklahoma, including Flores, Oklahoma, Forgan, McCain, Elmwood, Logan, Slapout, Clear Lake, Knowles, and Gate, Oklahoma. So same warning, just it extends between both Texas and Oklahoma. 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts once again on that storm. So not as a big of a problem, but then we hop back over towards Lubbock. Now they did remove all those warnings, thankfully. Let's see here. So they definitely did remove that those warnings there, but there was definitely some really strong winds that was reported out here, like in West Texas, out there by like Plainview. We had that report there from that Mezonet. 70-mile-per-hour winds. 63 also reported, 59, 60, and another 60 there. Let's see here. Taylor says, can you explain the difference in the Storm Prediction Center saying 70-mile-per-hour wind versus driving on the highway at 70 mile per hour and not ripping stuff off travel trailers? That's actually a really good question. Now, the problem is that it has to do with a lot of surface area. Now, trucks are very aerodynamic, and they don't have much surface area once they're driving forward. Now, the problem is if you have those winds... If you have those winds that are going kind of perpendicular to the truck, and it hits the trailer, 70-mile-an-hour winds can easily tip over a trailer. That's kind of as far I'm going to go into it now. There's more to it, but mostly has to do with surface area and what it's hitting. Now, obviously, homes and trailers and all are stationary. And, having those winds smack against the wall and, hitting a large surface area puts a lot of pressure on that house and all them homes and all. So that's the main difference, because whenever you're driving, the surface area is much thinner because you're driving into the wind, if that makes sense. And a lot of that's actually going over the roof of the truck as opposed to strong winds hitting the side with the greater surface area. Hopefully that makes sense. Let's see here. How is Moore? Sorry, I'm late. I have family there. No problem. So Moore, let's hop on over here. Actually, we're gonna pull this up on SPCs. I'm going to see this. Let's see, Moore, Oklahoma. Yeah, this is mostly south of Oklahoma City. Actually, you know what? Let's pull this back up. So Moore is outside of that severe thunderstorm warning. Also, thanks for the star, friend. I appreciate that. Moore is outside of that severe thunderstorm warning, but we do have that gust front and that outflow or that outflow boundary, same thing, just different name, tracking its way towards Moore. So actually, you're about to notice a big kick up in wind once this outflow boundary hits you, which it's getting pretty close. It's getting pretty close. So while you're not under the severe thunderstorm warning right now, that storm is heading your way, and it's likely going to be pretty strong. I can't guarantee that they're going to issue a warning for you, but regardless, I do think it does have potential to become severe. It's already a really strong storm here. I mean, it's honestly kind of looking like it might be bowing out a little bit. Maybe, maybe not, but it's regardless a pretty strong storm. So you're not in warning now. There is a strong storm approaching you. Keep an eye on it. If need be, get away from windows, which you'll probably have to, given that storm's coming that way. But yeah, other than that, you should be good. All right, so hopping back over here to the current warnings, like I mentioned, we have some pretty nasty activity here. So eastern El Reno has a severe thunderstorm warning here, also including Yukon, Oklahoma, and Piedmont, Oklahoma. For the central part of the state here, now, like I mentioned, this is a destructive storm from National Weather Service. This is their direct words, destructive storms. Like I mentioned, 80-mile-an-hour wind gusts on them. 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts and quarter-sized hail. That is a big problem. So the threat for hail has gone down dramatically, which is good. We were tracking, like I said, we were looking at reflectivity earlier, which you can't really see now because I've changed radars and back and all. But earlier scans showed a really strong hail core. And now that hail core is pretty much dissipated, so the hail threat is pretty much lowered. It has lowered significantly because it was at tennis ball size hail. Then it got downgraded to golf ball hail. Now it's down to quarter size hail, which is 1 inch in diameter. So right now it's low in severity for hail. But the main problem is still damaging winds. We do have that, that severe thunderstorm warning here in effect for Yukon and Piedmont here. Let's see. I just got a notification from Venmo. Let's see here. Jerry, thank you so much for the $10, friend. I appreciate that, Jerry, saying thank you so much for the late night coverage. Can hardly find anybody on right now, so thank you for all you do. Thank you so much, friend. That is greatly appreciated. Thank you, guys. Seriously, all for the people who have donated and supported to us. It means the world to me. Especially being up late. It's kind of hard to to work this late and all. So all the support we get definitely helps up, and allows me to do nighttime coverages because unfortunately things are expensive now. So for the people who do really, for the people who do donate to us, thank you seriously so much. It means a lot to me, and it honestly allows me to be up this late and stream this late here. So anyways, so thank you so much, Jerry. Once again, that's greatly appreciated, friend. Thank you so much, y'all. Let's see, this is why I'm not moving back to El Reno. That's fair. I mean, yeah, El Reno is obviously well known for being quite severe in terms of weather. We got a new warning that popped up here. Let's go over to that real quickly. So this is for the northwestern side of Oklahoma. This includes Arnett. Let's see here, including Gage, Fargo, Fort Supply. Let's see here. This includes May, Roston, Buffalo, and Selman. Now, this is, once again, in western Oklahoma. We have a new severe thunderstorm warning. Okay. They upgraded it. So the one warning we had before it, the one for like Beaver, Oklahoma, Lipscomb, Texas, and Canadian Texas, that was at 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, has now upgraded to 70 for the areas ahead of it, such as, once again, northwestern, kind of west-central portions of Oklahoma, including Arnett, Crawford, Shattuck, I think it is, Harmon, Fargo, Gage, Fort Supply, Catesby, May, Laverne maybe? Roston, Buffalo, and Selman. So those areas are now in that severe thunderstorm warning there for, like I mentioned, 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts here. Let's see here. Taylor, I've already explained that to you a little bit ago. You might have missed it. You can just rewind and go back to it. Let's see here. Night shifter here. Thanks for the coverage. You're getting me through this shift. No problem, friend. No problem. Yeah, I'm gonna be here as long as I can. I'm a little bit sleepy. I've been up all day, but I'm gonna keep going for a little bit. And like I said, I'm just here to help you guys. I want to make sure y'all are staying weather aware and all. All right, so hopping back over to OKC. So this is for my Oklahoma City folks. Like I mentioned, we do have severe thunderstorm. Oh, there's actually a new one that just got issued for Bethany, Oklahoma. I believe for 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Okay. Yeah, so Oklahoma City, we have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect, including Oklahoma City, Midwest City, Forest Park, Spencer, Choctaw, Jones, Lake Alma, The Village, Edmond, and Arcadia. These are very nasty storms. So the warning for those areas I just mentioned is for 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts. It's what the winds could peak to within that storm here. Yeah, 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts, and also quarter hail too, which is the low end severity in terms of hail. But yeah, I mean, moving at 70 miles an hour potentially, that's not, it wouldn't feel good. So definitely don't be outside. I'm sure there's a lot of lightning going on with these storms as well. So what I heavily recommend if you're in these areas, stay indoors. Go actually towards maybe the center portion of your home, and really just the main thing is staying far away from those windows. Absolutely. Now, like I mentioned, further to the west here, just east of El Reno, which includes Yukon and Piedmont. This one's a little bit more significant. This one's warned for 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts, which is well into hurricane strength. And we also do have quarter-size hail out there, which, like you mentioned a little bit ago, out there in El Reno airport, since then the storm's kind of pushed out of the airport area. The rain's starting to light up a little bit, as you can see here on the radar reflectivity. But earlier from the AWAS station, that Mezonet station that we have there in, at the airport, actually reported 75-mile-per-hour wind gusts out there. So that's at the airport in El Reno. Now hope those planes were strapped down pretty good, especially those Cessnas. If you're in the aviation, those 152s and 172s, I'm sure they would not do very well in those winds. So if they're not strapped down, I'm sure. I mean, that is strong enough wind, I believe, to actually lift up Cessna airplanes like 152s or 172s. Anyways, let's see here. Okay, I actually got some good news. They did just cancel that 80-mile-per-hour wind gust warning there. So that's actually why they issued the one for Bethany, is because that's replacing the one that was for Yukon and Piedmont. So yeah, this guy right here, this one is no longer warned. So Piedmont and Yukon, eastern El Reno, no longer in that severe thunderstorm warning. However, there is still some heavy rain for like Yukon, and Piedmont starting to light up a little bit, looks like on radar. So that's that. Now, like I mentioned, they did add that extension warning for Bethany, Oklahoma, which this is warned for 70-mile-per-hour winds. So keep an eye out there for that, because that's still significant winds. That's still definitely some very strong winds out there. Then, of course, we have the other one that extends in for Edmond, of course, Oklahoma City, the Village, Lake Alma, Forest Park, Spencer, Midwest City, Tacoma Park, Choctaw, Jones, and Arcadia. That one's also for 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts. And that one actually has quarter hail on it as well. So yeah, pretty strong storms out there right now. And of course, with the newer warning we have for the far northwestern, kind of west central side of Oklahoma, including the following towns of Buffalo, Roston, Laverne, May, Fort Supply, Fargo, Gage, Shattuck, and Arnett. This one is also warned for 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So, like I mentioned, 70-mile-per-hour winds are no joke. They definitely are enough to cause some problems. In terms of like wind damage, trees could come down. Obviously power outages are a big concern in those winds as well. Damage to homes could definitely occur in those winds. So definitely the main thing, like I mentioned, is staying away from those windows, in these winds, because, the problem arises with flying debris. Whenever it comes to, you can have those strong winds actually lift up objects, like outdoor patio furniture. I mean, just random stuff that's sitting outside, which is kind of important. If you have time, say if your area is like ahead of the main line, it wouldn't be a bad idea to bring things in. But, for the people who couldn't get to it in time, there's going to be that potential with these strong winds of debris flying around, just objects that are sitting outside, and they can actually hit the windows and bust the windows and come in your home. That's why I tell you to really stay away from the windows, not to mention the shattered glass concerns. If you're near a window when it breaks, it's just best to stay away from it in these winds, because, yeah, I mean, it's absolutely a big problem. Now, like I mentioned, there could also be some other concerns as well with those winds too, like trees falling down on houses and all that stuff. So please take it seriously. Like I mentioned, just stay indoors, away from windows. Honestly, recommended to go towards the middle of your home. Honestly, even like a bathroom, or you don't have to full on go in a closet or something. I mean, unless probably more of a hallway would be better. Honestly, just far away from windows. That's just the main thing. What's up, Ace? Good to see you. Taylor says, you're the absolute freaking best for answering dumb questions. No questions are dumb questions. They're not. And it was actually a really good question that you had. Absolutely.
Yeah, like I said, a lot of it has to come down to the surface area. Because the air gets redirected over those trucks is the reason that the trailers behind it don't really have much wind pushing on them. But when you get strong winds and they push on the side, they have more surface area and much more force. Anyways, but yeah, I'm sure you get it.
Anyway, oh, look at that. Did we have another Mezonet report of 75? We sure did, dude.
Look at that. So not only did we have the El Reno Airport, you can see down there, El Reno Airport AWAS station reported 75-mile-an-hour winds, but we also had another Mezonet just to the north also reported 75. So it looks like a lot of El Reno just went through like mid 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Wow. Well, the good news is that the storm is out of most of El Reno now, which is good, but I would not be surprised if there's some wind damage out there, some trees down, all kinds of stuff. So, if y'all have anybody you know out in El Reno, just give them a check, make sure they're all good, because yeah, those were some really strong winds that rolled through El Reno just now. Like I said, the threat still continues. Currently actually pushing in towards like the Oklahoma City area. Okay, who said they were in Moore earlier? There was somebody in the chat who said they were in Moore. I don't know if they're still here or not. So it looks like that tail is starting to grow. You can kind of see how it's a bit more choppy. There's some light precipitation, some moderate heavy precipitation over here. Now it looks like that southern tail, it might be starting to strengthen a bit. And that's actually coming right up on Moore, which is right here. They did just get that outflow boundary, that gust front that rolled through. Precipitation core has not really hit Moore quite yet. I mean, maybe the western sides of Moore, but yeah, it is definitely approaching Moore, in which you're not under a warning in Moore yet. We'll see if they actually put one or not, but yeah, the velocities definitely aren't as strong as areas like further north, but still, it still is a very strong storm rolling through the area. So just a heads up towards Moore. Stay away from windows if you guys could. But like I was mentioning, though, going back to what I was saying, Oklahoma City, we still have that pretty big concern as far as severity out of the system or out of this storm here. So we have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for the following areas in central Oklahoma. This includes Choctaw, Nakoma Park, Midwest City, Spencer, Forest Park, Lake Alma, Oklahoma City, The Village, Bethany, Edmond, Arcadia, Jones, and I believe that's all the areas that I'm seeing here. Actually, we have Del City, Smith Village included too. The Village, Nicholas Hill, Woodlawn Park. So those areas here in out by Oklahoma City area. We have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts here. So definitely is a pretty big concern. Also Quarter Hill there too, which we definitely could see, that as well. Let's see here. Raki says Weather Service has issued a tornado warning for El Reno. I do not see it. Not yet. Once it pops up on the screen, I mean, if it does, I'll let you know. Oh, we got a new warning actually. New severe thunderstorm warning for kind of north central Oklahoma, including Lahoma, Ringwood, Minnow, maybe, Carrier, Drummond, Wakumis. I think that's how you say that. I could be saying that wrong. But this is here for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts in Quarter Hill. Yeah, I haven't gotten a tornado warning yet. I don't see it here. Let me hop over to velocity. I mean, to me, a lot of this looks like straight line winds. But if they do pull a tornado warning, we'll obviously let you all know. But yeah, I don't see it right now. Don't see it. Let's see here. I'm the best says, how is Franklin, Arkansas tonight? Tonight we're pretty good for the most part. I mean, yeah, the main threat tonight's mostly like Oklahoma. If we hop back over here, I'll actually pull up your area real quickly. Franklin, yeah, you're kind of northwest. So yeah, radar right now, I mean, we're actually pretty clear. There's really, here, I'll go and pull it up for you. There's really not a whole lot going on for your area right now. You should be good for now. Yeah, like I said, the main threat mostly just west of you here currently. So, but yeah, later on today, I do believe you're in that risk here, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, no, you're not even in that risk later on. Yeah, you're good. You're actually good. So, you're good for now. What's up, Tabletop? Good to see you, friend. Let's see here. Tempest says, hey, Andrew, storm we had Thursday in Polk Country, Mulberry South, Lakeland was Was there a tornado or straight line winds? It was mostly just straight line winds. Yeah. It was definitely a pretty crazy storm. I was obviously here in, um, Lakeland as well. It was crazy. There was a lot of lightning, a lot of loud thunder with it, and but yeah, there wasn't a tornado. It was just really strong winds on that storm as well. It actually knocked over my tomato plant outside, which I was kind of disappointed in, but but yeah, it was pretty strong. So yeah, by the way, people in the chat, what Racket was saying, there is no tornado warning. So just letting you all know. So no need to worry. Yeah, I'll let you guys know if there's a warning. So sometimes people in the chat like to put stuff, and just know it's not true. Just wait until I confirm it, but there's no current tornado warning. Okay. Anyways, but what there is currently a problem with is, like I said, damaging winds. That's really the main threat right now. We have Oklahoma City, Midwest City, Choctaw, Spencer, Jones, Arcadia, Edmond, the Village, and Bethany. These are, currently severe for 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts here. So definitely got to keep a close eye out there for it. Let's see here. So I asked because there's trees and power lines. We're down in Cleveland Heights Boulevard. Gotcha. Yeah, there is some strong winds with it. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, there's at least 40-mile-per-hour winds on that storm, which is enough to bring down some trees, some smaller trees, and some branches and all. So, anyways, but yeah. All right, let's head on to the west here a little bit. Like I mentioned, we also do have a couple other severe warnings to the west here. Let's see. Unfortunately, we kind of have a big radar hole in western Oklahoma. But we do have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect. So this is kind of the far northwestern, kind of west central side of Oklahoma. This includes the following areas of Crawford, or Oklahoma, including Crawford. This is for Harmon, Arnett, Shattuck, Gage, Fargo, Fort Supply, May, Catesby, Laverne, I think it is, Roston, Buffalo, and Selman. So that is a newer severe thunderstorm warning here that got issued a little bit ago. That because that line of storm is starting to push through. This one is warned for 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So definitely is some really, really strong winds. So once again, if you're in the warning for these strong winds of 70 miles an hour or greater, definitely once again want to stay well away from windows and all. So let's see here. Marcus says, do I know when it will be in Clarksville, Tennessee area in the future? So yeah, your area for Tennessee is not really in the main threat here for these storms. Now later on today, we do have marginal risk for a lot of Tennessee here. So it is a pretty lower end threat here. The areas we're currently covering is in a slight risk. Now, this is a level 1 threat, which is still a potential for a couple strong to potentially severe storms and all. So pulling up the future radar, this is actually the HRRR we're going to look at here real quickly. We'll hop back to the 04 Zulu. Time's in the top right. This is in Eastern time, by the way. So yeah, we go down in time. You can see those storms kind of push eastward. But yeah, it's not going to be until pretty much the later afternoon going into the evening here. For bits of Tennessee. But, the stuff happening tonight has not really much to do with, kind of what's going to be popping off later on, as we'll have some more storms developing then. Let's see here. Taylor, when you get a bit of a second for the more important severe weather updates, can you tell me what the heck a derecho is? I know I spelled it wrong, but I'm hoping you know what I mean. Yeah. So derecho, I call them Doritos. Basically just big windbag storms. These derechos, they're classified for being long-living, typically 6+ hours, I think it is. There's a specific criteria. I can't think off the top of my head right now, but because it's 2 a.m, my brain don't work right now. But basically, it is a long windbag event, which is just kind of a big line of storms that rolls through for several hours, causing significant wind damage. Sometimes you can have those derecho. There was one in Iowa, I think in 2020, that had like sustained winds of 100 miles an hour or something. It was pretty crazy. Somebody probably knows what I'm talking about. But yeah, there was pretty bad. But basically, a derecho, whenever you think of that, you should think of a strong wind maker, a damaging wind producer. Basically just a big line of storms that pushes through, kind of like a squall line. Typically they're bowing. You can kind of see a little bit of a bow shape to them. But yeah, they just produce widespread damaging winds. That's really the main thing what a derecho is. Let's see here. Racket, once again, there's no current tornado warnings or anything, okay? Yeah, right now these are all severe thunderstorm warnings, but like I mentioned, we do have some pretty strong winds out by the OKC area here. This is warned for 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts out there. And like I said a little bit ago, out there in El Reno, we had not one but two Mezonet reports of 75-mile-an-hour winds out there, which is pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. Let's see here. What's up, Michigan? Good to see you, Fran. Saying, hi, Andrew. What's up? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Let's see here. I'm the best says, see, warm, not too windy. Gotcha. Yeah, it's definitely been pretty warm out here, and unfortunately, it's supposed to get warmer for a lot of places out there in the country, unfortunately. MD, good to see you. Saying, hi, Andrew. How's Troy, Ohio looking? Seeing right around us. What is that? So here, let's hop on back over here. We'll pull up our day one outlook here. So as far as the threat goes for Ohio, there really is none later on today. So this is the valid day one outlook, so we don't really have much going on today. They haven't updated the day two outlook yet, and so on. So yeah, I mean, your area is not really in much of a threat as far as where you're at here for severe weather. So really not a big concern for you. Now, I tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and bring this up again because it's been a minute since I brought it up. Another big problem tonight, and really over the next few days, is not just the severe storms, not just the potential for tornadoes, hail, and damaging winds, but also flooding is a really big problem. So if we bring up the day one outlook here for flooding, you notice we actually have a moderate risk for flooding. Now, this is a really big concern because, I mean, this is a level 3 out of 4 threat. This is almost a maximum threat for flooding. It's a level 3 out of 4. So that includes a lot of like lower bits of Missouri, a lot of kind of north central, northeastern Oklahoma, and a little bit of the extreme southeastern corner of Kansas here. So this does include areas like Tulsa, also like Stillwater, Oklahoma, Ponca City, Bartlesville, Skiatook maybe, Poyer Creek, J, and Miami. Not Florida, Miami, Oklahoma. Then it goes through bits of Missouri, including Joplin, Springfield, Bolivia, Lebanon, going all the way towards like Centerville and Greenville and Salem areas. So yeah, definitely a really big concern for flooding here. Really big concern for flooding here. In which, that's at least a 40% chance of flooding potential. So every 25 miles, there's at least a 40% chance of flooding here in the red areas. So if you're in these areas, and if you're definitely in the region that's prone to flooding, in a low spot, really need to watch this closely because we've already seen a lot of rain out there, and there's more rain on the way, a couple of inches over the next few days. So that's going to be kind of increasing that flooding concern out in those areas. Now also across the slight risk area, that level 2 out of 4 flooding threat here in the yellow. I mean, that's still a decent concern for flooding potential. I mean, this is where we have at least a 15% chance of flooding here, which includes like Kentucky, bits of Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, Missouri, Arkansas, bits of Oklahoma, and Kansas. Excuse me. Then we have the 5% chance here in the green, which, like I mentioned, is kind of the lower end flooding threat, but still can't rule out some isolated flooding there. Taylor says, that's why I say you're the best. Thanks. No problem. Try to leave you alone now. No, Taylor, you're good. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to ask. I'm definitely here to help you. Let's see here. You got Discord? I do. It's it should be in our description, I'm pretty sure. So if you guys want to join our Discord, if y'all have Discord, check out the description. We have our Discord information down there. Let's see here. You're in a flood watch. Gotcha. Yeah, keep it out there for that. Yeah, flooding, once again, is a big problem here as well. All right, let's hop back to radar. We're going to take a look at the current storms. Oh, we got a new warning here. All right, so for northwestern Oklahoma, we got a new severe thunderstorm warning, including Lambert, Ingersoll, Cherokee, and Tacoma. This is a new severe thunderstorm warning in effect. So this includes 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and quarter-sized hail. So kind of more of a baseline severe warning, but still a bit of a concern there. Oh, you know what? They also, they extended. Oh, okay. So I mentioned this earlier, how Moore isn't in a warning, but they recently actually just got in a warning here. So the Weather Service just extended that severe thunderstorm warning, the one that's in Oklahoma City area. They just extended it to include a lot more of central Oklahoma, including more now included in that 70-mile-per-hour wind gust concern, including Pink, Oklahoma, Bethel Acres, Dale, McLeod, Hara, Meeker, Sparks, Davenport, Chandler, Warwick, Wellston, and Luther. That is a brand new severe thunderstorm warning. Now, this one is warned. They kept it 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts here, so it definitely is a big concern for damaging winds there. So yeah, if you're in those areas I just mentioned, what I want you to do, stay indoors. I know you're tempted to go outside, but whenever you have 70-mile-an-hour winds, it can be a little dangerous with flying debris and all. So stay indoors. Stay well away from windows. Like I mentioned earlier, the problem is whenever you have winds this strong is, it's not a tornado, but these winds are very strong and they can still cause flying debris. They can cause things to go flying, patio furniture, all kinds of stuff, which can go through windows if you're near them. Then, of course, you have the risk of that coming and hitting you, not to mention all the shattered glass and all. So it's just important that you stay well away from windows. Because if you are, then if that happens, you're out of harm's way. So definitely recommend to stay more towards the center portion of your home, at least until that warning gets canceled for your area. Yeah, if we hop over to velocity, you can see definitely some pretty high-end velocities out there by Midwest City, Nakoma Park, Jones, Spencer. Definitely really, pretty windy out there. Velocities are picking up some pretty strong values there. Correlation coefficient, like I mentioned, a lot of the hail threat, I think most of the hail threat is over with now at this point, within this storm. Yeah, we saw that tennis ball hail potential out there whenever the storm has passed through El Reno. Now we're down to quarter hail. Actually, not even that. They actually lowered that. We're no longer in quarter hail, so now we're just 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts there at that storm. But I really think that main hail threat there probably is over with. Because, if we look back at CC, there's basically radar saying, these raindrops look pretty similar throughout the whole storm, which is a good sign. There's no cores on reflectivity, just mostly heavy, moderate rainfall in the orange and red areas here. So that's obviously good. I think the hail threat has dropped down a bit. But yeah, as far as the damaging winds, though, still absolutely a concern. Still is definitely a bit of a problem out here. Let's see here. Marcus says, thank you, buddy. No problem, friend. I got you. Let's see here. What radar app do I use? I use a lot. This one is Aguacero, which we're actually a sponsor of them. You guys can check it in the bottom right there of the screen. AguaceroWX.com. You can get 20% off your first month with code NWW20. Now, we do have this app here. This one is GR2 Analyst, which is actually a little bit of a fun fact. It's actually my first radar program I ever bought, and I've had it for probably 10, 15 years now. Had it a while. Anyways, when do I go live? Random times. There is no set time. I'm very random when I go live. That's why it's very important that if you guys are subscribed, that you turn on those notifications because you'll get notified when I do go live. Yeah, that's the problem is my sleep schedule is all over the place. So sometimes I'm up at right now it's 2 a.m. I'm doing late night coverage. Sometimes I'm covering 2 p.m. Like I mentioned, it's just I'm live all the time, just at random times. So no specific times there. Can I run the future radar over again? Yeah, I got you. Let me pull it up for you. We'll do that. We're going to pull up the HRRR. And by the way, guys, if you haven't already, consider subscribing. I'm not going to make you subscribe. I know a lot of people try to shove it down your throat and all, but just consider it at least, because I think it could be pretty useful to a lot of you guys out there who's in, the harm's way of the weather and all. So I'm definitely, like I mentioned, that definitely here to help you guys overall. But yeah, here's that future radar. Time's in the top right here. So for your area, like I mentioned, that severe threat is just south of you. Those main storms will be popping off here south of you. But there is potential. We are in that general thunderstorm threat out there where you're at, MD, where we could see maybe a couple stray storms, but nothing really, severe expected for your area. What's the forecast for Anthony, Kansas? See if they get rain flooding. Let me look real quickly, and then we're going to go back to the radar here. Anthony, Kansas. See, Kansas. Here we go. Anthony, Kansas. All right, so this is more... Oh, this is South Kansas. Gotcha. Here, let's look at the current radar out there. I think Anthony, Kansas is... I know you're around here somewhere. It's around here somewhere. Currently, no severe warnings out there, but I will tell you this though: we do have this kind of line that's kind of pushing eastward. Now, I know you're up in this area here too, so we got to keep an eye out there for that. But back over at the future radar and all, I mean the HRRR does have some storms rolling through that area. There is a possibility that a couple of them could be strong to potentially severe, because you can kind of see, I mean, this line still remains pretty well intact. I mean, this is 5 a.m. on the models. It is obviously one model, one run and all, but I would keep an eye on it. I think the main concern still remains as damaging winds. I really do. But yeah, that northern part of that line is starting to pop off quite a bit, and we're starting to get some more warnings out of those. Yeah, those two top warnings, the one out there by like Lahoma, Carrier, Ringwood, and the other one for like Lambert, Ingersoll, and Cherokee. Yeah, those are just both warned for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, and I believe they're both for quarter hail too. Yeah, both of those are for also quarter-size hail too. Like I mentioned, the ones over by Oklahoma City are definitely more mature. They're more severe because these ones are warned for 70-mile-per-hour winds, and not only have they been, not only is that indicated as a concern, but it's also been observed. Because like I mentioned earlier, we had El Reno with that, those two Mezonets out there in El Reno, the AWA station over there and at the airport, and a Mezonet to the northwest of that. Both of those reported exactly 75-mile-per-hour winds, which, like I mentioned, that's significant. Definitely significant. Let's see. Do I do this for a living or what do I do? This is what I do for a living. Yeah. I actually used to do like plumbing work with my dad. And I've always been obviously been in the weather, and I've always wanted to be a YouTuber. So, I've been studying meteorology for so many years, and I was just tracking storms on my own, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to start a YouTube channel. So while I was doing that, I started the YouTube channel and I started picking up a bit. So I've fully converted to doing this for a living. That's why, the donations and stuff that you guys give me, help me out, because it helps me stay afloat, and it really does. But yeah, this is what I do. This is what I do. Let's see. Sewing says, all that water will come this way. Yeah. There's going to be some soaking rain with it. Once again, flooding is definitely a big concern with this as well. Not just damaging winds or tornadoes, or tornado threat's pretty low right now at 2%, but or hail and all. But flooding is a concern too. Okay, so like I mentioned, for my folks over here by Oklahoma City, Oklahoma City is kind of clearing up a little bit, it looks like, which is good. You guys kind of seen the worst of it already out there. However, we still do have that severe thunderstorm warning in effect for a lot of those areas, including Moore, Oklahoma, Valley Brook, Midwest City, Spencer, Choctaw, Jones, Arcadia, Luther, Wellston, Sparks, Meeker. Let's see here. We also do have Dale, McLeod, Hara, Bethel Acres, Pink here too, which this is warned for 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Like I mentioned, it is a big concern because, with winds that strong, gives a bit of a concern for like flying debris and all that stuff. So gotta keep an eye out for it. Let's see. 318, thanks for the gold coin, friend. Judy, thank you for the flow state. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. 318 with another gold coin. Thank you guys. Judy, 318, thanks for the support, friends. Really appreciate it. Would they extend that watch for Arkansas? What time? I'm not sure if they will or not. That's up to SPC. If they do, then they do. But right now the main concern is for bits of central and kind of northwestern Oklahoma right now. Now Arkansas, like I mentioned here, not really in the concern as of right now. If we hop over to the current radar, like in West Arkansas, I mean, you can see here, there's really not a lot of anything significant if it'll actually load. If it'll load. Anyways, let's see here. AD, I don't know how to say your name, man, but thank you for the star. I appreciate it. I'm just gonna call you AD if that's fine, because I'm terrible with names. But yeah, like I said, in Arkansas though, we're pretty clear right now. There's really not a whole lot going on out there. Mainly Oklahoma right now is the main concern here. All right, let's see here. 318, thanks for the gold coin again. Judy, oh my gosh, all of you guys coming in with the support. Thank you all. Judy, thanks for the flow state. Let's see here. 318, thanks for all the gold coins, friend. Sewing, thanks for the star. You guys are awesome. Really appreciate you. We have 60-mile-per-hour winds reported over here out there in May. This is up in north. Ooh, you know what? Did they? Wait, hold on. Did they upgrade that? Oh, they have a new warning there. That's for 7. Okay, yeah, that's for still 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts. But yeah, we do have reported winds of 60-mile-per-hour winds up here in northwestern Oklahoma out there in May. This morning includes Fort Supply, Buffalo, let's see, Roston, Gage, Shattuck, I think it is, Arnett, let's see, Fargo, Woodward, Moreland, Sharon, VC. Is that VC maybe? Probably saying that wrong. Camp Houston and Freedom. So this is warned for also 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts here too. So got to keep an eye out there for it. See, that's perfect. Good. Yeah, like I said, I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name. I wish I did, but I'm not good with names, people names or town names. It's not my thing. Not really good at them, but you guys see me say some funny stuff sometimes with these town names, especially Oklahoma. I tell you what, Oklahoma, still to this day, man, is one of the most toughest areas to cover because of all these weird names that we have. So, like, thanks for the support for the coin and the flower. 318 coming with the support as well. Thank you guys so much. Y'all are absolutely amazing. Ooh, look at this. Okay, we got a damaging wind report. This is on that Oklahoma City storm. So apparently, fire department. Okay, this is estimated though. But yeah, this is, let's see, 65 plus estimated. Power flashes were absorbed. So, absorbed? I meant observed. I'm sorry. My mind just doesn't exist right now at 2 a.m. I apologize. Observed, not absorbed. Oh my goodness. Anyways, this includes, this was out there in Luther, Oklahoma. So 65-mile-per-hour winds estimated. You know, like I've mentioned this before. It's not a Mezonet. You know, it wasn't directly measured. It was estimated. So, yeah, we'll see. But anyways, yeah, 65 there. See, Jones, Hera, Choctaw, Spencer, Lake Oma, Forest Park, Midwest City, Valley Brook, Moore, Bethel Acre, Pink, Dale, Meeker, Sparks, Warwick, Wellston, Chandler, and Davenport. This is at severe thunderstorm warning here for central Oklahoma for 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Let's see here. Let's see. I'll catch up on donations when I get stuff together. No, you're good, Taylor. You guys don't. You and nobody has to donate. I'm just saying the people who do donate, I really deeply appreciate it because I mean, you guys do help keep me, afloat and all that stuff. But I really do appreciate that. You feel bad asking many questions? No, it's fine. Answer as many or ask as many questions as you want. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to help and help keep you guys weather aware and all. But like I said, you guys don't have to donate, seriously. You really don't. But it does mean the world to me whenever I do get donations. I'm not going to lie. I really do appreciate it. All right, let's see. So yeah, for those two warnings up here by Lahoma and out there by like Carrier, Wacomas? I ain't gonna lie. I think I got that one right? Is that how you say it? Wacomas, maybe? Drummond, let's see. This one's warned for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts in Court Hill. So yeah, these ones here are mostly for lower end winds, but like I mentioned, still 60-mile-per-hour winds is a bit of a concern here. Let's see. Learn more from me than anyone, no doubt. Oh, I'm glad, Taylor. I'm glad. Let's see here. 318. Thanks again for the gold coin, friend. Judy, thanks for the flow state sewing. Thanks for the heart. You guys are awesome. Once again, thanks for all the jewels and stuff. I'm still trying to kind of get used to the whole jewel system that YouTube has. It's still kind of new to me, but I really do appreciate it, y'all, for the support. You guys are awesome. Really do appreciate it. All right, let's hop back over here to Oklahoma City. So, actually, you know what? Let's head back up northwest real quickly. So this is far northwestern Oklahoma, kind of west central portions of Oklahoma here as well. So this includes Arnett, Fargo, Gage, Sharon, Woodward, Freedom, Buffalo, Roston, Laverne, I think it is, May, Fort Supply. Yeah, so this one's actually warned for 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts too. So definitely a pretty big windbag concern there. Expect considerable tree damage. Damage is likely to mobile homes, roofs, and outbuildings. So that's direct quote from the text of the severe thunderstorm warning we have here. So, yeah, keep it out there for those areas. Now, heading back towards central Oklahoma. So, like I mentioned, at this point in time, I mean, looks like we have a little pop-up shower over here by El Reno. Definitely not a problem at all, really. The main storm has passed, so I think El Reno's pretty much good to go. Oklahoma City, definitely in better shape now. So, you can see earlier scans how we had that heavy rainfall over Oklahoma City. So the current scan, you can see that a lot of that's turned green, which is the lighter precipitation rates. Reflectivity has gone down a bit there, so that's good. I just I just noticed my face changes colors. Look, red, kind of weird bluish green. I'm losing my brain cells at 2 a.m. This is I get stupid when it gets late, and I'm sleep deprived. So I'm sorry. But yeah, Oklahoma City is definitely lighting up a bit. So there's not as heavy rain out there. The main wind concern is already through there. However, like I mentioned, areas east, still a very strong storm here. And the current warning includes like Choctaw, Hara, McLeod, Dale, Meeker, Sparks, Chandler, Davenport, Warwick, Wellston, Bethel Acres, Pink, and I believe actually Moore is in that too. But yeah, Moore's starting to light up a little bit too. But yeah, this warning is still significant. Once again, 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts here, which near hurricane force wind potential on that. So, see, I had it right the first time. Oh, did I? Gotcha. Let's see here. Judy says, Alva, Oklahoma here. Thanks for being live. Of course, friend. Of course. Here, let me pull up Alva. Let me see what you're doing or how you're doing out there, just to double check. Do I know Ryan Hall? I do. Not personally, but I've heard of him. Crazy thing is I've actually done this before I even knew Ryan Hall existed. And then I saw he did what I do. Let's see. Alva, Oklahoma. Okay, so this is up northwest. I think you guys... Okay, yeah, you're right here. So you're actually just shy of that severe thunderstorm warning that's just to the southeast of you. So we have Tacoma, Lambert, Cherokee, Ingersoll in that warning. That's for 60-mile-per-hour winds in Quarter Hill. But yeah, the storm is just south of Alva, so you're probably seeing maybe a bit of lightning and all. But we do have to keep an eye out for this storm here to the west of you, because it's kind of like a wall heading that way. It'll probably be a little bit before it gets out there, and I mean there could be a chance that it could dissipate by the time it gets there. But that warning's slowly creeping towards you, so we got keep an eye out there for that storm. But it is warned for still 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts. We do have a 60-mile-per-hour wind report out by May earlier. So let's see here. So thanks for the star, friend. Let's see. Just like the Beastie Boys said, no sleep till broken. Love the Beastie Boys. I tell you what, my whole playlist, I have a lot of Beastie Boys songs on there. Absolutely. Really, really good band. Anyways, but yeah, so definitely, yeah. These two warnings that we see here, the one for northwestern Oklahoma and the one for central Oklahoma, these are warned for 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts. The ones in between, these two up here, these are both warned for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So the ones for 60 include Tacoma, Lambert, Ingersoll, Cherokee, also including Carrier. How do you say that? I always have a hard time saying this area. Can you guys maybe help me on this? I know some of you guys probably know how to pronounce this. If you don't know what I'm saying, it's E-N-I-D. Is it Enid? I don't think it is. I really don't think it. I probably said that completely wrong. Anyways, we have Lahoma in that warning there too, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Then we go into the 70-mile-per-hour wind gust ones out by areas just slightly east of Oklahoma City now at this point, including Dale, Pink, Bethel Acres, McLeod, Meeker, Sparks, Hara, Choctaw, Jones, Wellston, Arcadia, Warwick. Those areas are inside of that severe thunderstorm warning there. That one's once again for 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So definitely, need you guys to be in your safe spots, honestly, away from windows. You don't have to fully seek shelter. I mean, although it wouldn't be a bad idea, but the main thing is just making sure you're away from windows, because having winds that strong is definitely enough to cause flying debris to go through windows and shatter windows and all that stuff. And you don't want to be near windows when that happens. So, and of course, to the northwest here, we also have that other one for 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts, which this one includes Freedom, Camp Hudson, Selman, Buffalo, May, Fort Supply, Woodward, Moreland, Sharon, Fargo, Harmon, VC, I think it is, Arnett, Gage, and Shattuck. So yeah, this one's also for 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts here. Let's see, Anid, I think it is. I probably said that wrong. Even though you broke it down for me, I probably said it wrong because I'm good at that. Here, let me check, make sure there's no other warnings. Okay, yeah, so we just have those ones. Oh, you know what? They actually just dropped. Okay, that one warning that was by Alva, we just talked about, or out by towards Judy. That warning is now canceled. So we did have that in effect for Ingersoll, Cherokee, Lambert, and Tacoma. That is no longer in effect. They just canceled that severe warning, but there's probably still some lightning and all. Here, let's pull up our SAT view. I want to pull up our long wave IR. Let's just see how that's going on. Wow, dude, yeah, got some real deep convection here. Let's play that the last like 4 hours here. Go ahead and play that in motion. Oh, I apologize for the flashing screen, y'all. I really do apologize for that. Unfortunately, it does that when it loads. Okay, I think it should be good now. Yeah, but yeah, look at that. That is just absolutely crazy, though. I mean, that deep convection we've been seeing across like western panhandle of Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, bits of Oklahoma here too. Oh my gosh, dude! Judy, coming in with a $10 super chat. It's Enid. Gotcha. Okay. Okay, thank you so much, Judy. Thank you for the 10, though, friend. That is really nice of you. That means the world to me. Thank you so much. Guys, could you please give Judy a big thank you in the chat? I'm going to go ahead and leave a heart and a like for you, friend. And I'll also do this as well. Thank you. Really appreciate it, friend. Thank you so much. Thank you. But yeah, definitely some deep convection on the IR scan here. Which, I mean, yeah, lines up pretty well. Definitely lines up pretty well here. Let's hop back over to the radar. But yeah, they did cancel that one out there by you, Judy. So that's the one that was just southeast of you. They did cancel that one. So that includes Tacoma, Lambert, Cherokee, and Ingersoll. Once again, no longer in that warning. We still do have that severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Carrier, Lahoma, Enid. I think it's how you say it. So that's still in effect there. 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and quarter hail. So kind of lower criteria, but both a concern for hail and damaging winds there. And then, of course, we have the bigger storms here, which looks like this. Honestly, now I can't tell if this is just because the storm is going over the radar area. So, yeah, you can kind of see how the precipitation color has changed kind of from dark red to kind of more orange red. I think that's actually because the radar is getting hit now. So, yeah, because I've noticed whenever the radar gets hit, it kind of like muffles some of the returns because, all that rain that's there. Anyways, let's see. Where have I been hiding out? Haven't seen it in a long time. I've been here streaming. YouTube's just terrible at, updating people and giving them notifications and all. But we've been streaming. We did another live stream earlier, doing more of an update live and all that stuff. Anyways, Judy says you're welcome. Once again, thank you, friend. I really appreciate that. Greatly appreciate it. It means a lot to me. All right, so, but heading over here, we still do have that severe warning, though. This includes Sparks, Meeker, Dale, McLeod, Pink, Bethel Acres, Hara, Choctaw, Wilson, Warwick, Chandler, and Davenport. So these areas are in that severe thunderstorm warning. Now, there is other areas included, but they're kind of pulling away from that storm, or the storm's pulling away from them. Areas like Moore, Valley Brook, some of those areas, you guys have kind of already got the worst out of it. But yeah, the biggest concern, where the storm is currently at includes Hara, Choctaw, McLeod, going up towards Wellston, Warwick area. But it's getting ready to hit like Pink, Bethel Acres, Dale, Meeker, Sparks, Chandler, and Davenport. So that's that. Where am I living in again? I'm in Lakeland, Florida. Yeah, so I'm basically dead center Florida. But anyways, so that's what that storm, once again, that is warned here for still 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts. How much longer does that have? We have 21 minutes on that warning there. The one to the northwest, this one's also still warned for 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So this is extreme northwestern Oklahoma, which includes Buffalo, Oklahoma, Laverne, I think it is, Fort Supply, May, Selman, Camp Hudson, Freedom, Moreland, Woodward, Fargo, Sharon, Harmon, VC, Arnett, and Shattuck here. Once again, 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Hail is up to penny size, which, really isn't a concern. Yeah, penny hail, it's going to hurt if it hits you at 70 miles an hour, but it's not considered damaging, essentially. So, anyways, I'm off Highway 90. I'm not gonna get too specific on exactly where I'm at, but I'm in Lakeland, Florida. Just leave it at that. We'll leave it at that. Yeah, let me show you my exact location. I'm kidding. Anyways, also we have Enid for this other severe thunderstorm warning, including Carrier and Lahoma too. This one is, let's see, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts in quarter hail, which, like I mentioned, to be classified as a severe storm, it has to have sustained winds, or sorry, not sustained winds, wind gusts of 58 miles per hour or greater. Hail that is either, so it could be any or all of these. So if it has winds that are 58 mile per hour wind gusts or greater, it's considered a severe storm. If it has quarter size hail or 1 inch in diameter or larger, it's considered a severe storm. If it has a tornado in it, it's automatically a severe storm. So that's what classifies a severe storm as a severe storm. So a little bit of a fun fact for you guys if y'all didn't know. So that's what I'm saying. Like for these storms that are like 60 mile per hour wind gusts, this is like right at that threshold where it becomes severe, like low and severe. But then we have these other guys that are like for 70 mile per hour winds, so it's more deeper into severity, if that makes sense. Obviously the higher the wind gusts, the more severe it is. So, anyways, Stefan says you moved from Lakeland and now in Enid. That's the one area I was having a hard time pronouncing. That's crazy. It's a small world, man. I tell you. But yeah, you're actually in a severe thunderstorm warning, Stefan, by the way. I'm sure you've probably been paying attention. But yeah, includes Carrier and Lahoma. This is warned for, like I said, 60 mile per hour wind gusts and quarter hail. Like I mentioned, you should just, honestly, I mean, if you stay away from windows, you should be pretty good. Let's see, any info on the Saharan dust storm? What I could do probably is pull up the sat view. We can look at it. Yeah, you can usually see it on visible sat view. We're gonna pull up COD meteorology here. Honestly, I gotta blow the dust off of this program, off of this site. This used to be my go-to forever. Yeah, it's kind of hard to see. Ooh, was there an outage or something earlier? Yeah, I think there was a satellite imagery outage earlier or something. You know what? I think the satellite was having problems. Yeah, look at the color. So you have the just normal mode, and then the color changed dramatically, and then of course it skipped like 6 hours later. Then it came back online. So there is something going on with it. But yeah, there's really not a lot I can really tell you about it, honestly. Let's see. Been watching Max Velocity. Gotcha. Yeah, he's pretty good too. I'm just glad that there is, bigger channels out there, who can stream longer and all that stuff. Which I try to stream a long time, but it's good to have other channels. And there's a lot of people who are like very competitive. Not me. I really don't care about being the best or anything like that, because the way I look at it, it's good that there's other YouTubers out there like Ryan Hall, like Max Velocity. Those are two really good ones. I don't watch them because I do my own weather and all, but yeah, they're good channels, of course. But it's just good because they reach a good audience and keep people weather aware. That's what all this is about. There's a lot of people out there who's more in it for the money and the competition and all, but like I said, I couldn't care about that. All I ever wish for is just keeping you guys safe and making enough just to live off of, essentially. That's all I care about. Let's see. We do have... we got some damage reports. This is out by Oklahoma City. Out by like Midwest City, Del City area. Large tree limb snapped. Tree split at trunk between 15th and Southeast 29th on South Air Depot Road. Also, widespread power outage. And I'll tell you what, we can do this, actually. We'll bring up our power outage map. Power outage. There we go. Yeah, this is a good site I always use for... Here we go. All right, let's see. So this... Okay, Oklahoma, we have definitely quite a few power outages out here. Lincoln County, is that...
I don't think that's where Oklahoma City is. I think that's Seminole and Pottawatomie County. I think like more. I'm not really too familiar with the counties here. Anyways, but we do have quite a handful of people without power. So out of all 2 million people tracked, 13, almost 14-ish thousand people are without power here. Let's see. Judy says, I'm an old English teacher. I hope you don't mind if I help with pronunciation. Honestly, no. If you can help me, that would be much appreciated. Because I suck at names, as you can probably tell. Yeah, not the best whenever it comes to town names. Like I mentioned, especially Oklahoma. I'm terrible. Good news, they did cancel that warning for Enid, the one that Judy told me that how you pronounce it. Once again, thank you, Judy, once again for the support, friend. But they did cancel that warning. There still is, this still is a strong storm. I mean, it just got off of severity. It's still considered a strong storm. But whenever it comes to it, yeah, just if there's lightning, if thunder roars, go indoors. That's what the weather service always says. Just stay away from windows if you still could, and yeah, you should be pretty fine. However, we still have the 2 big warnings here. So back up in extreme northwestern Oklahoma, out there by Woodward, Fort Supply, Fargo, Gage, Arnett, Harmon, VC, Sharon. Let's see here, Moreland, Freedom, Camp Houston. You guys are in that severe thunderstorm warning here for still 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts here, which we have about 30 minutes, 29 minutes left on that particular warning there. So we still got a little bit to go. 14 minutes left on the one out by the Oklahoma City area. This is out here for. So I know it includes like Midwest City and some of these other areas out here, but you can see where the main storm is here. It's kind of pushed through the polygon. So the main concern right now is, where it's over right now is like McLeod. I just thought of a terrible joke. It's like you go to McDonald's and order McLeod. Bad joke. I'm so sorry. Y'all had to deal with that. I can already see my viewer count dropping. I apologize. Anyways, we have Pink, Bethel Acres, Dale, Meeker, Sparks, Davenport, and Chandler as well in that warning there. Which this one once again is also for 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts here too. So that is that. Bigger is always, or not always better. That's true. That is absolutely true. All right, let's hop back over to a warning list here. I think we just have the 2. Yeah. Oh, North Dakota has a warning. What's going on up there? Oh, wow. I bet you that's for hail. Look at that little core there. Let's see what it's warned for. 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter hail. Yep. So that is for literally the far south side of North Dakota. That includes Selfridge. That's really all the towns I see. South of Solon. South of Breen. Judy! How do you say this one? Is it Breen? I think Breien. North of Fort Yates. I could say that one. I know that one. But yeah, there's a relatively. I don't know how new that is actually, because that's. I didn't even notice that until now. Anyways, I'm back down to Oklahoma. See what we got going on out here. So yeah, we did have 65-mile-per-hour winds reported out there by Luther. So heads up to y'all. Yeah, the warning actually just got discontinued for Luther, but yeah, we did have that estimated wind gust earlier we were talking about. Like I mentioned, whenever these reports come in and they say 65 plus and that they're estimated, you got to take those lightly because I know this came from the fire department and all, but sometimes, I'm not saying the fire department's doing this, but sometimes people can kind of get those guesses pretty wrong because honestly, when it comes to it, what am I even saying? I'm sorry, y'all. I'm out of it. It's 2 in the morning, 2:30 in the morning. People tend to exaggerate sometimes, if that makes sense. Let's see. Baldy says go check on Jay, Oklahoma. Wow, rude, don't you think? But yeah, I'll go check for you. Let's see, Jay, Oklahoma, because I'm a nice fella, Jay's not in the warning right now. No, y'all. So the main concern right now is for Central Western. There is a storm out there though, but it's not severe. There's no warnings on it or anything like that. So there's J. Yeah, so you're getting that storm, but it's not not currently warned for anything. Yeah, I mean even velocities are pretty weak. So yeah, not a concern really. That storm's pretty good. Not a problem, Bob. Let's see here. Judy says Brian. Kind of like the name Brian. Brian? Yeah. Brian, North Dakota. Gotcha. Thank you, Judy. Judy coming in clutch again with the support. with the English support. Like I mentioned, that's honestly one of my nightmares. Is just how terrible I pronounce people names. I ain't even gonna lie with y'all. There's been a couple times when I stream, whenever somebody like donates to me, like does a super chat or whatever, and I can't pronounce their name, I feel so bad because I'm like, thanks you, however you say your name. I always feel terrible, and it's not just people names. Like I said, it's these town names too. They always get me. So, Judy, I really appreciate you helping me out and all. I really do. Anyways, but yeah, right now the main warnings are here for Oklahoma. We've got 9 minutes left on this one for McLeod. Let's see, Meeker, Dale, Bethel Acres, Sparks, Warwick, Wellston, and Chandler, Davenport area. So let's see. Taylor said I got it. I'm dying. At least somebody got my terrible joke. But yeah, there is reports of power outages and all. Let's see if we can actually update that. So did that go up? Wasn't it like at 14,800 or something? Now it's almost at 16,000. I think that's gone up, which is to be expected. Lincoln County, 1,500 people without power there. Canadian County, 4,600. Kingfisher, 842. Blaine County, 509. Noble County, 2, and so on. No, not 2. 218. Okay. Yeah, so we got to keep an eye out there for these. Here, let's hop back to KTLX radar here in Oklahoma City. I think once this warning gets expired, I'm probably going to go to bed because I need to go to bed. I'm out of it. Completely sleep deprived. I'm a sleepy man. But yeah, we have a severe thunderstorm warning for Sparks, Meeker, Dale, McLeod, Warwick, Wellston, and Chandler, and Davenport. This one here... Oh, you know what? Good. They actually downgraded it from 70 mile per hour winds now down to 60. Now, like I mentioned, it's still considered severe. 60 mile per hour wind gust is still a concern. But yeah, but that's that. So they did downgrade that one. We still have 70. Yeah, still have the 70 for the other one up here in northwest Oklahoma. For areas like Fargo, Fort Supply, Woodward, Sharon, VC, Moreland, Freedom, Camp Houston, Selman. Let's see here. Yeah, so that's still for 70 mile per hour wind gusts here. Taylor, you're good. You're good, friend. Like I mentioned, ask away if y'all have any questions. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to help. I'm not just here to show you what's going on. I'm also here to help if y'all have any questions, I will always try to answer them to the best of my abilities. You know what? I'm going to bring up meso analysis. That's something we haven't done tonight. Meso analysis here. Pull this up. So if you don't know what meso analysis is, it basically kind of gives me a detailed view of the environment here. Okay, we have a lot of instability. There's 2,200 joules per kilogram of CAPE. So to put that in perspective, that's a pretty good amount of instability. That's just telling us pretty much how unstable the environment is, which 2,000 is pretty moderately unstable, which is good for storms. As far as the wind shear goes, so you need really strong winds throughout the atmosphere to organize the storms and, make them severe and all. We do have a pretty strong, I'm not going to lie, we have a pretty strong little lower level jet there. About 35, 40 knot southwest to northeast flow. So the winds are coming up like this. So this is about 5,000 feet up, so it's relatively shallow. Winds are coming in, once again, from the southwest to the northeast here.
So then we go from that 5,000 foot to 500 millibar, which is 20,000 foot. And you can see that the flow is pretty perpendicular, actually. Yeah, look at that. So the winds are flowing more from west to east. So that's actually important. But the thing is, though, is that the winds, which is kind of weird, at 20,000 feet are about 25 knots, are a lot weaker than the winds about 5,000 feet up. So the winds at the lower levels are much stronger than they are at the mid levels right now in this environment. Now, honestly, if we had a stronger mid-level kinematic structure, if we had stronger mid-level shear here, I feel like these storms would be much more amplified, and I think that tornado threat would be greater because of that. So we got to be thankful that there's a pretty weak mid-level flow here. So that's definitely good. But like I mentioned, good instability. I mean, that's there. That's pretty good. Let's check our D cape real quickly. This is our downdraft cape. Wow, high. Yeah, that's pretty high. No wonder why we're having some strong wind gusts. Yeah, so D cape is that downwards cape, that downdraft cape, which is the energy of those downdrafts. Yeah, I mean, and on the tail of that storm there, I mean, we're between, what is that, like over 1,000 something joules per kilogram? That's pretty good. Anyways, basically accelerating the downdrafts, that cold air coming down. The higher D cape you have and all. Definitely helps with it. And given that we have a pretty strong lower level jet too, that also helps. Let's see. Taylor says, last I heard, strong winds typically disorganize things like your patio. They can. Absolutely. How long am I streaming for tonight? I honestly have no idea, friend. We've been live for over an hour and 45 minutes. I'm honestly surprised we made it this long. So we've done some pretty good coverage tonight, I think. I'm definitely happy I was able to be here. I do have company coming over tomorrow too, but they're not coming till like 6 p.m. So I'll be good. So I can stay up a little late if I want to. But I would be lying with you guys if I say I wasn't tired. I'm a little whooped. I'm not gonna lie. Anyways, but yeah, once again, a bit of an update on these warnings here. The one up here that is now east of Oklahoma City. Once again, Oklahoma City's good now. There's still a couple showers, a couple thunder showers in the area, but the main threat is pretty much over. You can see that long noodle, that outflow boundary. That's actually that downdraft. That cold air hits the surface and kind of spreads out on the surface here, which, kind of kicks up some insects and some dust and stuff, which radar can scan and kind of has this, this noodle on it. They can kind of see. So that's actually where those strong winds would likely start, is right there on that gust front. It's not necessarily fully where the precipitation is where the strong winds are always going to be. It's not true, because like I mentioned, we have that gust front and that downdraft. That's where a lot of those strong winds were actually, probably most of the strong winds would be. Anyways, but yeah, for Beaker, McLeod, Dale, Bethel Acres, Sparks, Warwick, Wellston, Chandler, and Davenport. This severe thunderstorm warning was warned for 70 mile per hour winds, but they've downgraded it now to 60 mile per hour wind gusts, which is good. We have 2 minutes left on that warning, so that is that. I'm probably going to stream until we hit the 2-hour mark, so that's about 15 minutes from now, so I'll probably call it then. Hopping over here back to extreme northwestern Oklahoma. This includes Arnett, Shattuck, including Gage, Fargo, Woodward, Fort Supply, Buffalo, Freedom, Moreland, Sharon, and VC. This one is warned for the next 16 minutes here. So yeah, we'll head off at 3 a.m. 2 Central, probably. That's probably what I'm going to call the stream. But yeah, this one's warned for 70 mile per hour wind gusts out there, which has been warned for that for quite a bit. We do have reports out there in May earlier. Out there in May, Oklahoma, they reported 60 mile per hour winds here. This is from this is from broadcast media, but I don't know how they got that reading. Did they estimate it? Did they have a handheld anemometer? Did they have some type of weird weather station or something? I don't know. But they reported 60. So, anyways. But yeah, that's that. But yeah, the storm's kind of approaching Woodward area right now. Sharon, VC, currently over like Harmon, heading up right there towards Camp Houston and Freedom. Extreme northwestern Oklahoma, by the way. Let's see here.
Yeah, a lot of those storms that whenever we first went live here, we did have, uh, these guys were getting quite a bit of strong storms. You can see since the storms have pretty much died out across like western Texas, which is good. Um, we were actually having some really strong winds, like 60 and 70-mile-per-hour winds were being reported out here, but thankfully that's gone at this point. All that's kind of died out down there, which is definitely good news. Here, let's hop back. Oh man. All right, they issued a new severe thunderstorm warning here for that storm. The good news is it's not 70-mile-per-hour winds, but they have it still for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. New severe thunderstorm warning for central Oklahoma, including now Shawnee, Johnson, Prague, I think it is, maybe. Let's see here. Sparks, Meeker still in the warning there. They did remove it for Wellston and Warwick. That's no longer there. So, anyways. Let's see. Judy says earlier Alva had hail ranging from penny to golf ball. Pretty wild. Oh wow. Yeah. Oklahoma's been getting some pretty big hail. I mean, like I said earlier, whenever we were doing the coverage here, we had El Reno. The infamous El Reno was in the warning for tennis ball hail earlier. We actually covered that as the storms pushed through. Now that storm's over here now, and is definitely not a hail concern really anymore. It's not even warned for hail anymore. I mean, it has hail up to penny size, but that's not classified as severe. Like I mentioned, that hail threshold for it to be considered severe hail has to be at 1 inch in diameter or quarter size and larger. That's what's considered severe hail. Now, like I mentioned, the reason it is warned is because of damaging wind potential. These are warned for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, or this one's warned for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. To be classified as damaging winds, it has to be 58 miles per hour or more. And based off of radar indications here, it's an radar indicated threat. It's basically Weather Service saying, hey, radar is giving us, data saying that we're likely seeing 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts in the storm here. Anyways, but yeah, for the one up to the northwest here, out here by like Woodward and Moreland, actually they just updated that. Okay, good. So the areas over here, I'm about to get ready to list. They just removed from the severe thunderstorm warning. So Arnett, Gage, Shattuck, Catesby, I think it is. Let's see here. May, Laverne, I think it is. Roston, Buffalo, you guys are no longer in that severe thunderstorm warning. However, I got some good news. Okay. So that severe thunderstorm warning continues for VC, Sharon, Woodward, Moreland, Fargo, Fort Supply, Selman, Camp Houston, and Freedom. This is now warned for 60-mile-per-hour wind. So both of these warnings are now down to 60. Okay, that makes me feel good. That makes me happy. It does, because they've died out actually quite a bit. You know what? Now that I'm looking at the reflectivity here, you can kind of see that the storm and the line here is kind of falling apart, or the storm here is kind of falling apart, because in earlier scans it was definitely much, it was definitely much more compact of moderate heavy precipitation. Now in the latest scans, you can start to see some like lighter infiltration, lighter precipitation. Kind of breaking up. You can kind of see the storm kind of cracking up here, so that's good. That's actually a good sign. Judy says, Prague, Oklahoma, or Prague? So sorry, I can't even say that. Let's see here. Willie says, appreciate you being live right now. I'm in the middle of it all. Well, stay safe out there, friend, and you are very welcome. I'm so glad to be here for you guys. So glad to be here for you. But yeah, like I mentioned, that's a good news, though. I think that storm is probably on its way out from being severe, but still is warned for, like I said, Sparks, Meeker, Prague, I think it is, Johnson, Shawnee, Bethel Acres, Dale, and McLeod. So once again, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts on that one. See, Long Egg, Long Egg. Is that what I said? Long A. Prague. I think I said it right that time. Yeah, honestly, shout out to Judy. Judy is a champ tonight for helping me out with my terrible name pronunciation. Like I mentioned before earlier, Oklahoma is a tricky one. It is a tricky place to cover. I'm not going to lie, because the town names, some of them are just crazy hard to pronounce. So, yeah, Judy's been here helping us tonight, so really appreciate Judy. Anyways, but yeah, hopping back to the other warning here, and we'll go up to North Dakota to check on that other one again. But yeah, VC, Sharon, Woodward, let's see, Fargo, Fort Supply, Moreland, Selman, Camp Houston, Freedom. This one's warned for 60 mile per hour wind gusts. So yeah, these ones in Oklahoma are both now for 60. Okay, North Dakota. This is for Sioux County. We have 25 minutes on this warning. So this is for the far southern side of North Dakota. So this did include Selfridge, but they did discontinue it for that area. I think this is honestly in mostly rural areas. I'm not going to lie with you. Let's see. Locations impacted include Standing Rock. Okay. That rock ain't going to be standing for long. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No, like I mentioned, this is just 60 mile per hour wind gust potential in quarter hail. I mean, that is a potential for damaging winds. Definitely stay indoors, away from windows and all. But, yeah, like I mentioned, I mean, it's 60 mile per hour wind gusts in quarter hail. So it's right at the line where it's considered severe. So still needs to be taken seriously. But, at least it's not like 80 mile an hour winds and tennis ball hail we had earlier in El Reno. That's just crazy. Crazy. But yeah, just stay indoors, away from windows, and you should be good to go. All right, working our way downtown. Back over here towards Oklahoma. That storm is definitely breaking up, which is good. Like I said, that makes me feel a little bit better to end the stream soon, which I'm going to be ending it in about 9 minutes or so. Because, like I mentioned, with that storm dying out and all, that makes me feel a little bit better for leaving. That way I'm not leaving you guys with a big mess. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little whooped, but I wanted to be up here late for you guys and
help out at least a little bit, because in my opinion, nocturnal severe weather is worse than daytime severe weather. I mean, all severe weather is bad, but especially when people are asleep and you can hardly see anything, and everybody else who usually covers it's asleep. Somebody's got to do it. So I'm happy to be live here at night for you guys. Taylor says, like I said, I'll catch up on my donation. No, Taylor, you seriously don't have to donate. I really do appreciate it, though. I really do. But please, like I said, you definitely don't have to. And, but for the people who do, once again, I really deeply appreciate you guys, because y'all definitely help keep me up afloat, and you help me able to afford things, and just without y'all support, I mean, it really helps us be able to do this, because I can stay up late sometimes and and stream these events and all for you guys. So really do thank you guys for everybody, and just for everybody for joining and all. And honestly, if you guys could, if you haven't already, consider subscribing. Like I said, I'm not gonna shove it down your throat. I'm not gonna make you do it. But consider it, because it could be helpful to you. And maybe consider sharing the channel to friends and family, just to help kind of spread the word as well. And, tell them subscribe so that they can stay up to date as well. Anyways, so that's that. So once again, severe warning for Johnson, Dale, McLeod, Meeker, Sparks, and Prague, I think it is. I think Judy said. We have 22 minutes on that warning here. 60 mile per hour wind gusts. That is it. So there is potential for a hail up to penny size, but once again, that's not considered anything super problematic. We got a new severe thunderstorm warning for northwest Oklahoma. Okay, Judy, this includes you. You're in Alva, right? So we now have a severe thunderstorm warning for Alva. Let's see here. Capron, Avard, I think it is. Hopeton, Tegarden, Fair Valley, Waynoka, Belva, and Quinlan. This severe thunderstorm warning is in effect for 60 mile per hour wind gusts. So it's just an extension of the warning we have here. Yep. Hail up to penny size. Like I said, once again, not really a big problem. Really, the main thing is just potential for strong wind gusts here. Like I mentioned, for gusts up to 60 miles an hour. So, Judy, honestly, just stay away from windows if you could. Just, stay away from windows. Go in the kitchen or something. Just, go in the dining room. Anywhere, just away from windows. And just chill out for a little bit because, like I said, it's not really good to be, near windows during these warnings because, of course, with 60+ mile per hour winds, you can have flying debris and all, which can allow for, there to be potential debris hitting those windows and could cause them to shatter and all. So, anyways, see, you got to read back through and see the comedy show we were having. Yeah. Yeah, it's been a very interesting stream tonight. I'm not gonna lie. Anyways, they are about to cancel that warning though for like Sharon and VC and Fort Supply, Fargo area, Selman. So that one's about to expire here pretty soon. But they just extended that warning for is Avard, says Judy. Okay, Avard, Hopeton, Alva, Capron, Tegarden, Fair Valley, Quinlan, Belva, and Curtis. Also Moreland, Freedom, Camp Hudson still in the warning there too. Yeah, that's for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts there. Back up in North Dakota. We're going to talk about it every once in a while. We have this other severe warning. This one's, I believe, mainly in rural areas. I really don't think there's many people out here. Considering there's really no town names in the polygon, they did say that there is Standing Rock included in that warning, which I don't see the town tag or whatever, but still, Standing Rock is in that severe thunderstorm warning here. This is 460-mile-per-hour winds here. Also quarter hail too. So that one is a concern for both hail and damaging winds. But like I said, quarter hail, it's on the low end severe scale, but it's at the point where it does become severe. But yeah, that the storm's kind of tracking relatively northeast. Probably heading out there towards like Cannonball, but yeah, you guys aren't in the warning out there. But yeah, Standing Rock, you guys are in that warning out there, so just a bit of a heads up for that. All right, y'all, we've been live for a little bit, so yeah, I'm gonna call it a stream in about 4 minutes, guys. Like I said, I'm getting whooped. I'm absolutely tired. I don't even know how I'm still awake right now, because it's almost 3 a.m. And I've been up since like 7 a.m. yesterday, so I'm a little bit tired. But yeah, we do have the severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Sparks, Meeker, Prague, Johnson, Shawnee, Bethel Acres, Pink, Dale, McLeod. So, bit of a heads up there for you guys here. The good news, like I've mentioned, just by looking at the reflectivity over the last little bit, it definitely looks like that it is breaking up quite a bit, because you can see that there's definitely, some more kind of chunks of heavier precipitation rather than just solid mass of precipitation, heavy precip of just red like it was earlier. There's, areas where there's lighter rain and kind of spotty, as you can kind of see. Let's see. AD, thank you for the stars, friend. Saying W stream. I appreciate it. Appreciate it. Thanks for the support, man. I really appreciate it. Have I ate dinner net? Nice. Have I ate dinner yet? No, I have not. That's actually another thing. I was probably going to get me something to eat and then didn't call it a night after stream. All right, let's see here. But yeah, so I do believe, we have 17 minutes left on this warning for Sparks and Meeker area. I do believe they'll probably cancel that one soon. Even the velocities have gone down a bit. Yeah, definitely way better than it was looking earlier. So I think we're good to go on that storm almost. But still, if you're in it, stay away from windows, but you should be fine. Should be good. Yeah, all the warnings that we have right now are warned for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So that's good. Obviously 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts is still a concern, but better than the 70 and 80-mile-an-hour winds we were having earlier. So that makes me feel a little bit better, like I said, of heading off now here pretty soon. So anyways, hopping back over here to SAT. So this is a long wave IR. You're going to definitely see where we had some of the deepest convection. Yeah, even in the IR scan, you could see how it's looking a lot better. Earlier, once that storm passed through like El Reno and all, you can see that the storm tops, the temperatures up there were cold as heck. These are really tall top clouds, really tall storms. Up like Kingfisher, you can see that's kind of probably where some of that updraft activity was at. But yeah, we're talking like negative 80 degrees Celsius at that scan. But kind of where we stand now, you can see how it's not as gray and pink and purple as it was earlier. So that's that. So the temperatures aren't as low because the storm clouds aren't as high. If that makes sense.
Um, but yeah, it was still decent convection going on out there. Yeah, the one for northwest Oklahoma, you can see there is definitely still some gray and pink activity going on out there. But anyways, Judy, keep an eye out there for the storm. I mean, like I mentioned, right now it's warned for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Really, all you need to do is just make sure you're away from windows, and you should be good. As far as a tornado threat and all like that goes, I mean, I don't think there's going to be much of a concern for that. Yeah, I mean, we definitely have some strong winds on this storm, more than likely. So, honestly, at this point, Judy, if there's anything loose outside, like if there's really anything that's like loose and can fly around, you probably have a little bit of time to go and grab it because I mean, you can see this gust front, this outflow boundary. It's going to be hitting your area probably within the next 10 minutes or so, roughly. So if you can run outside real quickly, grab anything that's loose, bring it indoors. By the time the rain starts and the wind picks up, that'll be better because it'll ensure that first of all you don't lose or damage your property, but also so that it doesn't become projectiles and possibly damages things. So, it's a suggestion. It's a good suggestion because but if you're out there by like to Garden and Fair Valley, I mean, you guys are starting to get the heavy rain out of it. So y'all are starting to kind of feel the effects of it. Anyways, okay, they did cancel that back warning there. The one that was for Sharon, VC, Fargo, Fort Supply, Selman, no longer in effect. They did cancel that. So I believe that just leaves us with the 3. We have the 2 in Oklahoma. We have the other one in North Dakota. Actually, no, they canceled the one in North Dakota too. That's good news. That is actually really good news. We got 13 minutes on the warning for Sparks, Meeker. Okay, never mind. They just removed it. All right, yeah, this literally the only severe warned storm is the one for you, Judy. So like I mentioned, just stay indoors. Away from windows. It's getting closer. It's getting closer to you. Honestly, Judy, would you want me to stay live a little bit longer so that I could walk you through this, or do you think you're good? Because I mean, I will if you want. Because I mean, you've been a big help tonight. Especially after supporting the channel and all. I really do appreciate it. It's the least I could do. If you want me to, I can. If not, then I'll probably call it. But like I said, I would have no problem doing that if you want me to. All right, let's see here. We're going to hop back over here. So, yeah, another thing, like I mentioned earlier, I mentioned this a couple times in the stream. It's not just a concern for damaging winds and all today, but it's also a concern for, excessive rainfall, flooding threat here. Because for the day one outlook we do have here, we do have a moderate risk here, a level 3 out of 4 threat. For flooding, for like lower Missouri, bits of like kind of north central, northeastern Oklahoma. So the red area, like I said, this is at least a 40% chance of flooding here every 25 miles here in the red. The yellow is still a decent concern for flooding, which goes through bits of like Kentucky and some more of the Midwest and the bits of the Ohio Valley here. At least a 15% chance of flooding, and of course our green is that at least 5% chance. So definitely have a pretty big flooding concern, especially for like lower Missouri, kind of north central, northeastern Oklahoma. Have a pretty good concern for flooding there. So, anyways, Judy says, "Sweet dreams. Thanks again. I'm safe enough. Gotcha. Taylor, what the heck?" Alrighty, friends. I think it's gonna go ahead and call it here. I wish I could go on all night, but like I said, I'm about to fall asleep. I am whooped. I gotta get me something to eat. Gonna go get some sleep and all. But if you guys are new here, like I mentioned, if you want to consider subscribing on your way out, leaving a like for me, it'd be much appreciated. Like I mentioned, it's much appreciated. I'm not gonna hold you to it. You don't have to if you don't want to. But who knows? It could become valuable information if you guys are in the area. Like I said, we covered the main 48 states, so if there's any severe weather going on, we typically cover a lot of it. Some days I take off just for mental, rest essentially. But I try to stream as much as I can for you guys and all that stuff. Am I using Aguacero? Yeah. Like I mentioned, we're actually a sponsor, or they sponsor, or we sponsor them. Yeah. 20% off your first month, code NWW20. And that's aguacerowx.com if you guys want to check it out. Pretty cool program. That's this program we're using here, which very powerful program. Love it. It's actually my go-to. It's my favorite. I'm not just saying that because we're sponsored. The reason is I love the program so much I wanted to become sponsored with them. So, what's the risk for tornadoes on day one? Like later today? Yeah, I think it's just a 2%, if I'm not mistaken. We have a pretty big 2% tornado risk here. Oh, they added a 5. Okay. Yeah, so the last convective outlook update, this was just a big 2% area, but they've added a 5% risk now for like west, central, southwestern North Dakota, and a little bit here of eastern Montana too. Like out there by like Baker, Weebox. Weebox! Sorry, that was bad. Anyways, but yeah, they have a 5% tornado threat there later. We still have that. Yeah, that 30% SIG wind threat possibility here for wind gusts up to 70 miles an hour or greater, possibly in this area yet again, unfortunately, and then 30% hail threat as well. Alrighty, friends, that's gonna wrap it up for tonight. Like I said, I wish I could go on longer, but we've been live. I think over 2 hours. It's a pretty solid live stream, for being late, for being up this late and all. So I'm about to fall over asleep. I'm whooped. If you guys enjoyed it, leave a like. If you guys could, consider subscribing. Before I roll off here, I just want to go ahead and say, everybody, once again, thank you for all the supporters and all the donators and all. I really do appreciate it, especially Judy. Big shout out goes to Judy tonight. Really appreciate the support, friend. Thanks for stopping by, and big thank you to everybody for joining and hanging out with us and all that stuff. And anyways, let's see here. Taylor says, I know I was annoying tonight. No, you're good. I enjoyed myself. I think I made myself a new YouTube friend, and you're always a go-to. So hopefully you're alive next time. I hope I'm alive too. I do. Yeah, that'd be nice. But anyways, no, Taylor, you're good. You're good. It was good to see you tonight, and just thank you for stopping by and everything. Alrighty, friends, that's it for tonight. Thanks for joining. Y'all take care. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your night. Stay safe out there. Try not to worry about the weather. And we'll see y'all here in the next one. Probably do a live tomorrow at some point for an update and all. So I hope to see you guys then. All right, everybody. Take care. Have a great rest of your night. Stay safe. We'll see y'all in the next one. Peace out, my friends. See ya later on.